Here we go. Oh my goodness! Oh, Joe messed up the opening. He messed it up.
I was trying.
You jackass!
I was trying.
Hello, everyone. We actually have 5 people watching already. That's more than we ever get, Lou.
Well, yeah, because I'm back.
Well, oh, is that why? Is that why you're back? You have brought the Mexican community back to our show.
Yes.
Nice. So anyone's watching, please sound off in the chat room. Let us know you're here. But this is an extra special episode of Geeks and Ghosts. We have not been here for a long time, like almost a year.
Oh my
That's
God.
Kenny's fault.
It's your fault.
No.
It's always, yeah, see? No.
That's right. Kenny's fault.
This guy.
You know why? Because Kenny's the one who's in charge of doing all of this.
That's right. If I'm not here, nothing gets done.
There you go.
And tonight we're joined. Hey, Bob, my buddy Bob. Bob's in the house. We're joined tonight by Joe Downey, who's a longtime friend of mine, and oh my God, so this goes back years. This goes back where we worked together, and anytime we worked like late at night, because we both worked at a dealership, and we would have these nights where we'd have to stay late, and it was just like endless trivia about Star Wars, Back to the Future, like questions. We would question each other about like how many costume changes did Princess Leia have throughout the trilogy.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of shit. Hey, Jason.
Thank you.
Tonight we're going to talk about Star Wars, obviously, because it's all Star Wars themed. We got a Star Wars background. We Princess Leia's here. She's waiting. What do you got? Oh, look at that. A prequel poster. Oh, that's puzzle.
That's a
the
1,000
Skywalker that's currently in jail.
Wait, isn't that mine?
No, it's not yours. That's my Leia back there.
Didn't I win that?
Nope, it's still here.
I think I won that from you, and you just never gave it to me.
Well, obviously you never did because it's right here.
Yeah, well, I didn't care. It was the prequel.
Yeah, it's still awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's the Luke Skywalker that's currently in jail.
Hey, Donna's here.
You mean the Anakin Skywalker that's currently in
Yeah.
jail, not Luke?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Annie. All right. So what do you
he's
guys?
Annie, all right.
You guys. I mean, this show came about mostly because of Joe started bugging the shit out of me. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And because he started bugging me because of the Mandalorian. So I'm totally gonna steal your line there, Joe. And if you guys are watching and you don't know what's going on yet and you get spoilers, it's on you.
It is on you.
You should just tune out now.
I agree.
So the last episode, the season finale of The Mandalorian. What opening thoughts? Lou, go first.
I loved it.
Watch it?
I watched it. We
Okay.
watched it last night, and I wasn't expecting that the way it ended, and especially in the credits. if you stuck around for the after credits, that was surprising too.
Yes.
So now I can't wait for when's it? This December?
December.
Yeah.
December of next year. A fucking year.
I know.
God.
Yeah, but we got there's a lot of filler this year, so we're gonna be all right.
Yeah, I think so.
We got plenty to do.
So, all right, Joe, what do you think?
I thought the way the show started with the Imperial shuttle was phenomenal. Like it looked straight at, like, I'm like, there's Han, there's Chewie sitting there. You know what I mean? Like, just fly casual. Like, that's what it's all
fly casual.
Yeah, it brought it all back. You know what I mean? And then as the show went on, I'm like, all right, it's kind of like slowing down in the middle. Like, it was just kind of like, all right, the Iron Man guys now. And so I figured something was going to happen towards the end. I mean, it had to happen, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be that, but it was.
Yeah. I expected that. I really did. I mean, when I say expected, it wasn't like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. It wasn't a surprise. It was building up to that episode. It was like, okay, there's Grogu, which I'm not sure I like the name yet, but Grogu does that whole sitting on the stone thing, reaching out.
That's all he does is sit down.
Well, he's a baby. He's still a baby. But he's like, I'm thinking, like, all right, how many other Jedi do we know of? This is after Return of the Jedi.
5 years, right?
There's like 4 or 5 years, something like that. There's nobody left that we know of. Ahsoka she was in it, and that was phenomenal. We'll have to get back to that. I thought that was great. But she's not a Jedi. So who's left? There's no one left. And I was like, all right, it has to be nice. Nice. All right.
That's great.
So yeah, I kind of expected it. And then as soon as that single X-Wing came flying by, I was like, no fucking way. Yes, it's got to be him.
I know. I actually, when the sensor started going off on the TV, that there was on their little screen that there was another ship coming in, I'm like, if that's an X-Wing, that's fucking Luke. I knew it.
Yeah.
Now, a buddy of mine, he's like, he didn't even realize it even when he saw the black hand and the green lightsaber. I'm like, dude, did you just start watching Star Wars?
Yeah. I figured, okay, it's probably Luke, right? I was kind of hoping it would be, but when I saw the black glove, I go, that's Luke. That's the only person. It could be.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you know what? It threw me off because at the first that we see the lightsaber, I'm like, all right, it's green, but it's not the same color. It's not the same shade. So I'm wondering, like, all right, because I don't know if it was the screen I was looking at, but it was a lot more yellow-ish green. Right. And I was like, all right, what is that?
Weren't you watching it on an Android phone?
Yes, I was.
Well, there you go.
Listen,
watch it on a nice high def phone, and then we can talk.
Yeah.
Well, he still has the old Nokia.
Oh yeah, my God. You're the second person. Did you write comments on my YouTube channel, you bitch?
When I see when I saw the green lightsaber, I even told my wife, I go, there's only one person that uses a green lightsaber. Yeah. That's Luke. I wasn't saying, oh, look, it's a greenish, yellowish type of lightsaber. Who could it possibly be?
I know. And, well, then, I mean, it was done when you saw the hand, when you saw the glove. Like, all right, he's got the non-glitter Michael Jackson thing going on. That's fucking Luke.
But what's funny is that they actually kept his face hidden during the whole battle scene. Yeah. Like, they didn't show him. And I'm like, even the whole time, like, I'm like this the whole time. I'm like, this better be fun. Like, I did not drop my hands. And then, when the door opens and I see the light go off, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be like Rogue One all over again. Right. And it was like, did you see the picture next, like Vader, Rogue One? And
the
cool.
whole kill box thing.
Yeah. With the smoke and all that.
Of him
I
coming
love
down
the way he just got rid of that last Dark Stormtrooper.
Yeah, when he grabs it,
when he crushed it,
force chokes it. Yeah, that was. I mean, it was beautiful. It was beautifully done. I mean, I understand why they hit his face because it saves a lot of money on the
CGI
effects. Yeah.
But no, it was done perfect. Like I thought it looked better than Leia did in Rogue One. Obviously, it's
I don't know. It was still. It was like all right.
It was still.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see that they put Luke in there.
Yeah,
but it was still. You could see the face.
Oh
shift.
yeah, yep.
There were definitely a couple things, and then of course when he spoke, it was like, all right, that's not.
Yeah.
But
have you seen these deep fake guys? These guys on YouTube that are deep fake. So they did a deep fake video with Grand Moff Tarkin from Rogue One. Yeah. And they actually like took his face and it looked so good compared to what they did in the movie. And I'm like, how come these guys can do it, but Lucasfilm is like, making these, retarded robot looking guys. You know what I mean? Like I didn't understand it. You know? There you go.
I know that
was hot under there. Anyway,
but yeah,
definitely.
I'm still flying in space, so I can't take off my helmet.
Well, yeah, I mean you need to stay underneath.
Stay on target.
That's right.
Keep your helmet on. Cover your face. Let's see what do we got here. Bob is a regular on my other shows, but he says my favorite meme I have seen since Friday is something like Pedro Pascal is recovering from an injured back after carrying the entire Star Wars franchise. That
was great. And it looked like serious too. I did see that. That was pretty good. Yeah.
That's I'm amazed that like Lucasfilm sold to Disney and we're thinking like, all right, what's going to happen? It's got Disney. It's got all this power behind it. But the sequels, I'm not happy with them. I'm really not happy with the sequels, but it seems like
you mean from Force Awakens, you mean?
Yes. Force Awakens, Last Jedi. Yeah.
Right. Well, you were telling me the other night, so about a redo. Like, what's your thought on that?
Yeah. But I mean, Rogue One and now The Mandalorian, it's like these offshoots, these spin-offs, if you will, are just so much better.
They really are.
Than the big budget in the Skywalker saga kind of stories.
Right.
And it's
because they're weaving these stories in between what we grew up on, like New Hope through Jedi. And these stories are just kind of like Fett, him coming back.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like pulling these characters out of and just having these stories like, all right, where's he been for the last 5 years? And that's what I think this is going to happen. You know what I mean? That's where I think that the franchise is going. They're not going to focus on putting a movie out every year, which obviously didn't work. You know what I mean? Right. After Rogue One. So,
well, I think that Han Solo spinoff was the nail in the coffin for a lot of people.
I like that movie.
I liked it too.
I liked it.
I hated it.
I'm not trying to be a homer. I'm not trying to be a homer about it, but I like it.
You're Homer.
I know.
Homer.
I am.
I think it would have been better if they had an actor that looked more like Harrison Ford.
That was my main issue. I mean,
I didn't.
Yeah. I had a block head, whereas Harrison Ford, his head is a lot narrow.
I mean, it's just it was just bad.
No, and I think the whole meeting between him and Lando was such a big deal, and like seeing the Falcon for the first time, brand new, just didn't capture anybody. Like when we went to see Force Awakens, and he said that's a piece of junk, and that fucker panned over. Dude, tell me you and I didn't cry a little bit.
That was great.
That was perfect, and it caught us. But in Solo, it didn't. I'm like, all right. What's that big thing on the front? Where's the big gap?
Yeah. What's that doing? That's not part of it.
Yeah. It looks weird. Yeah.
We have this whole backstory of how it's like a freighter. It's a freight ship, and that's where the cargo would go in that center thing. Like, what the hell did you put there? Why is there a butt plug in my Millennium Falcon?
Exactly.
You know what? I will agree with what Bob is saying. Abrams would have had a better vision, in my view. He had such a better vision with Star Wars than any of the directors that followed. It just, like he says, went in a different direction. Right. And JJ tried to finish it, but the guy took such a far left turn or right turn on it that how do you bring it back on the last one?
You know
Well,
what?
I think he liked Last Jedi like a lot from the get-go. And actually, our Facebook memory just showed up either yesterday or today about talking about that movie. And you had asked me what changed your mind because I watched it again.
Yeah.
So you were a fan from Last Jedi,
right,
from the theater.
And then it's just it. The more I look at all three as a story, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's all three as a story. It just fell apart. And you're right. Like Bob's right. And Lou, what you're saying, it's they should have had a plan. That's what I think. They should have had a plan from the beginning. Like, this is the story we want to go with.
Right.
Let's revise it until we're happy, and then go with this plan. But they didn't. They went with, and then, when Abrams had to leave for a good reason, he had to leave, and then Rian Johnson took over. He fucked everything up.
Yeah.
He changed it and went a different direction. And
well, my buddy met Rian Johnson in the parking lot here in Hollywood.
Did he beat him up?
No, but Rian Johnson knew exactly what my buddy noticed him for, because he was trying to hide himself, who he was. And my buddy walked by him and goes, "Don't worry, we know you fucked it up. We'll try to fix it next time." And kept on walking by him. The guy just wouldn't talk.
Jason here brings up a weird point. Well, weird to me. The big deal of the Solo movie was Darth Maul's appearance, and I don't know if that was the intention or like that's like an aftermath, but I would disagree because it went nowhere.
Right now, it went nowhere. What's to say that Disney Plus isn't going to take it somewhere? That's true. That's the opening that these miniseries have, like even the Marvel stuff. I know this isn't a Marvel, but the Marvel stuff is going to be like 6-show series.
Well,
you're gonna,
in the next trilogy, we're going to see the Avengers and X-Men. You know that.
Yeah, I know that. Well, and honestly, I think that this new Spider-Man movie coming out is going to be basically like Civil War. You know what I mean? Like they have everybody and anybody coming into it. So.
I think it's going to be the live action Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
it's a good movie.
Because they're bringing everyone back. They're bringing all the people from the Sam Raimi films. They're bringing them back. Doc Ock. Tobey Maguire.
The black guy, Jamie Foxx is Electro.
Yeah,
I saw that.
They're bringing them all back. So
it'll be interesting.
It will be interesting to see what they do with this. And I think Star Wars is doing the same thing that they're doing. Like they have the Falcon and Winter Soldier that's going to pick up after Endgame and going to kind of, and then you have WandaVision all coming up after Endgame. And I think Star Wars is doing the same thing. Now, this Book of Fett, what's that going to be?
That's the mystery, because it was not announced with the official Disney stuff.
I know, when they blew up the internet for 2 days, and then all of a sudden we see the Book of Fett. What is that? Like, is that we're not having Mandalorian anymore? Is that, what is it?
I don't think they're going to do that. They can't, because now we've attached too much. They've established Mando too well. Like I like Mando.
And the other characters too.
Yeah. I mean, Bo-Katan and they're all great characters and we love them. I mean, before this, our knowledge of the Mandalorians was mostly Boba Fett. I mean, if we're talking movie wise.
Yeah.
And he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
He was a bounty hunter, a bad guy. But now we're seeing Mando that's not a bad guy. He's actually a good guy. So I love the character, and I hope they don't replace him.
And I think there's also a story that you can't forget about is that he's got the Darksaber. Bo-Katan wants it, and that was her whole purpose.
Right.
Like, what's going to happen there? Like what?
That was interesting.
That
was literally a rock in a hard place.
I was kind of pissed off about it because it reminded me a little too much of Harry Potter.
Okay.
With the Elder Wand thing, and when you go back into some of the history, especially when you watch like the animated versions where Bo-Katan had the Darksaber, she didn't win it originally. It was given to her.
So I have not seen these 3 series. I haven't seen Rebels so I'm going to get now that what's happening with these shows, I'm going to go back now and watch these That's how I'm going to fill my year up. I'm going to go back and watch these animated shows like a little kid. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
they're bringing back. Yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff that, like, yeah, that's all part of the animated series, right? Thrawn and all those guys.
Yeah. And I love it. I love that they're bringing these new stories or expanding these stories. You know, like Rogue One. Rogue One, I loved because it was more of a, we didn't know anyone, you know, except for Vader, and Vader just did a little fan service, but he didn't overdo it.
It was perfect.
But the rest of it was just unknowns that all of them die at the end.
Yeah.
You know, that it cuts it off. I thought it was perfect. I know a couple people in the chat room didn't like it so much, but I thought it was a great movie.
I love Rogue One.
But it was a story. It was based on one line in the opening crawl.
Oh my God, you sound like my wife. You sound like my wife. She just said, they just made a movie about one small aspect of, like she just said,
it's
great. I thought it was great, but she actually thinks it's bogus. And I'm like,
oh no,
why?
No.
It doesn't just happen. You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole story behind. Now, I'm not sure about who's Cassian, the Cassian series. I'm not sure. The guy, is that Cassian? The main character, not what's her name in Rogue One.
Fuck, I forget. I don't know. Lou.
So the guy,
come up with a name.
It was me.
It was me. It looks just like him.
It was me. I was the main guy.
The guy who shoots what's his name at the end to save God damn it, I gotta watch the fucking movie again. I think it's Cassian, but he's gonna have his own series pre Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, he didn't catch. There were no characters other than the robot in that movie that really I locked onto.
A2SO, yeah.
So I like the fact that they did their thing, they died, it's over. You know what I mean? But now they're gonna try this prequel with him. I just don't feel like he grabbed me as a character. You know?
Now, Joe, quick question.
Yeah.
When you were watching Rogue One, did you think everybody in this movie is gonna die, or did you think someone's gonna escape out of it?
I did think that, Andor, that's it, Jay. I did think that somebody would make it. You know, like maybe what's her name, Jyn Erso. I thought, but I like the fact that everybody died. I really do.
No, I went in there thinking. In fact, I went in there knowing everyone was going to die.
Well, I mean, I know the story, and these guys, many Boffins died. All that.
Right. Right.
I know. I got all that, but I just, as you're watching the movie, you're like, not everybody can die. And then they're sitting on the beach watching that shit come in. I'm like, all right, they're dead. They did their job. They're out.
But I went in thinking everyone's going to die. Just how are they going to die? And the reason I went in like that was because you didn't see or hear these characters anytime after this anymore.
Right.
That was it.
You're right.
So I went in, I go, they're all going to die. It's just how are they going to die?
And and I was just trying to tell, I think I was talking to my son about it actually, or somebody. And I said, there are so many little stories to the Star Wars universe. It's not always just the Skywalker saga. There's all these little side, like Boba Fett, like the man, there's so many things that you can do within this universe and still show a TIE fighter and stormtroopers and bring us back into keeping us in that, like the New Republic, and the Old Republic shows that are going to come out. That might be a little difficult, but we'll see.
They have a lot of material because there's, I still go to the comic book store and there's plenty of comics. I mean, they all have their own lines. Right. So you can go through dozens and dozens of comics and pull story material out of it. And it's all set in those time frames. So I definitely love how they're exploring these stories in between the stories.
Yeah.
They're not fucking it up. They're really
they're not
overdoing it.
Even when the Mandalorian went back to Tatooine, and I'm like, and he saw that creature, and I'm like, how cool would it have been when they were driving out just to drive past the Sarlacc pit? You know what I mean? Just off to the side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how awesome would that have been? But I mean, they're giving you just enough. Like, it's a different town, but they're talking about Mos Eisley. so they're just giving you enough to keep you interested.
Let's see. Bob saying this is a good question. I may have to rewatch every episode of The Mandalorian, but my question is, why does Mando know so little about Mandalorian history? Why doesn't he know about the Darksaber? How it can change hands?
I'm questioning if he's actually a Mandalorian.
Well, the Mando is not Mandalorian born. He is he's a rescue. I forget the name they called him, but he's a rescue. He was
rescue. That sounds like he's a dog.
Well, yeah, pretty much. But there was the Mandalorian Wars. I forget the exact history, but he was found, and in one of the episodes, they have a flashback showing where he's a child, and that during a battle, the Mandalorians come in and they kick some ass, and then one of them finds Mando as a child and takes him. And so that's how he trains. He gets trained by this little sect of Mandalorians, but they're underground, and they're not. They probably don't know much about the Darksaber, or it wasn't. I don't know if they were part of it, or if that sect broke off beforehand, because all this stuff with the Darksaber happened, I believe, in the Clone Wars series. So you have to watch that to get more of the history on that.
Right.
So,
that's what I want to get into, because the Darksaber really didn't mean anything to me. I'm like, well, what the hell's that? And then as I heard, it was part of the animated series, which I saw the Clone Wars movie, the animated movie they did when they first brought in Ahsoka. There was like a 2-hour movie, but then I never watched any of the series, but I'm going to. I'm going to have to.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's going to have to now. Just to catch up on the whole Disneyverse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because Disney completely did away with what were all those books that were published?
All the Star Wars canon was put into, they called them legends, and then made them all like legend stories, not actual canon. So, but they draw a lot of story from them. But yeah, I mean, it wiped out a lot of history that we knew.
Right.
Because it's all.
That's going to be interesting how they explain Boba Fett's return.
Boba Fett's return, I think it was addressed in one of the comics.
Yeah,
no, it was addressed in one of the books.
Yeah, there's a book about it too. Apparently, some of the stuff that, like, when 3PO says that they die a slow death, and there was somebody in the Sarlacc pit that was not dead, but was able to teach Boba Fett how to communicate with the Sarlacc pit, like telepathically. Jason Raver, if you're still listening, he probably can confirm this. I heard that. Story. And I heard something about he blasted a hole in the side of the Sarlacc pit while he was in there.
Well, I don't know. In one of the books that I have, and it talks about every single one of the.
You don't read books.
Shut up. So,
there's an ebook with pictures.
I have to go get it.
It's a comic book.
Yeah. No, Boba Fett's rescued by why can't I remember the guy with all the damn bandages?
Where? Boba Fett. Huh? I have to find it.
The guy with I just remembered it earlier, but the guy with all the bandages, that bounty hunter.
The mummy?
What? Shit.
All the bandages.
Oh. Raver, if you're still watching, who is it? You know him. It's not Bosk. It's
no.
No, but they're standing. Dengar. That's it. That's
Dengar.
Yeah.
Dengar. Yeah.
He's the one who goes back in. He goes in and he pulls Boba Fett out of the out of the Sarlacc and he nurses him back to health. But
so I read. I saw somewhere that it was his armor that helped
saved him.
Saved him.
Yeah, but that was only long enough for. By the time Denmark saved him, he was already eating through his armor. The acid was already eating him. So when he took him out, Boba Fett wasn't in the greatest of shapes. But that's who brought him back to brought him back to life.
Let's see.
So do you guys think that it was coincidental that Boba Fett was in the last 3 episodes, and in this episode he did his thing and then took off, and then Luke shows up, so those two don't have a reunion yet.
That'll be interesting.
Wait, it's not. It wasn't Luke. Was it?
Luke, yeah, on
it was Han.
No, but he was ready to kill Luke, and Han hit him.
Han hit him.
Right.
So it's not Luke's fault. It's Han's fault.
Well, what's his name was ready to take Luke out though,
but but Luke didn't.
But regardless, there was still something with those two. I'm just saying that he took off. He didn't see him the rest of the time, and then all of a sudden Luke shows up. So
I don't think there would have been a problem because I think at the time we can say confidently that Boba Fett was he was a mercenary. He was a bounty hunter. That's it.
Right.
And he was just
working for money.
He was just hanging out at Jabba's palace, because he brought the prize in. He was hanging out. So he wasn't really, I don't think he was working for. Oh, are you drinking?
I'm going to have a little swig, I think. I forgot I was down here.
I got some Kraken in this.
I know, but I got to get up early.
So?
You're working?
No, I don't work. Yeah, I have to work tomorrow.
He doesn't work.
I got a sugar mama.
Whatever.
I got a sugar mama. You don't need to work then. Oh, this is going to be on Facebook, isn't it? That's perfect.
Bob says, I just did some research. The Book of Boba is officially a spinoff, which says to me that The Mandalorian will have a season 3, even though it has not been announced. I agree. I do like. I was really happy that they brought back.
Yes.
I don't know his name, but the guy that played Boba Fett.
Django. Right. Or
Django, Boba.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I agree. That was awesome.
Right. Yeah.
But why is he? But he just he was all big and fat. I mean, I guess he's old.
Well, yeah. I mean? Most of us get big and fat.
Yeah, but I mean, how far? All right. So Boba in episode 2, the Clone Wars, or Attack of the Clones, he was what? Maybe 10.
Yeah.
So Jedi took place how long after Clone Wars?
So I believe the timeline is the timeline is I think after. Is it after Endor?
Yeah, it's 5 years after Endor. It's 5 years after the destruction of the second Death Star.
I remember.
So how old is that?
We did a whole timeline on this.
But how old does that make Fett now? Is what I'm
40.
40 years old.
40-ish.
40-ish. Well, so he would be pretty old because you think if he was.
We're 40. That's not old.
Yeah, it is.
It can't be.
You figure, okay, so wait, Boba, I don't know if he would be 10 years old, but he'd be around there, 10, 12 years old. Right. And this is before Luke was born. Luke and Leia was born.
Right.
Okay, so you give him at least 20 years.
No, I would say give him 10 to 12.
10 to 12. No, because Luke was 18, 19 when he started in A New Hope.
Right. So let's just say, all right, so let's just say from end of Sith to New Hope is 20 years. Let's just lock that out. 20 years.
20. Okay. So he's 20.
End of New Hope to 22, what?
And then end of New Hope to Return of the Jedi.
5 years old.
4. And then now we're at 25, 26.
So he could be 40 to 50?
Maybe. I don't know. That probably is just off a little bit. So a couple of things I'd like to know about him is obviously, and I don't know how this Book of Fett is going to do it because it's obviously.
And they say Boba Fett would be around 41 years old.
Yeah, so he looks older than. But listen, I mean, you got stuck in the Sarlacc for a couple of years, so I mean, all right, I get that. But how did you lose your armor? How did it end up with the Jawas? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. How did he get out? Is this Book of Fett gonna tell that story, or is that just still gonna be up in the air? Because now I'm gonna assume the Book of Fett is picking up right at the end of Mando, right?
Well, we don't know. We have a whole year now. He just took over Jabba's palace.
Right.
So
Boba is 19 BBY and 41 or 42 years. Okay. Yeah. Why does he go back to Jabba's palace?
Why does he go back there?
Right.
What's the point?
And why do they have that blue girl who is already dead? Another one tied up to, Is that what they do? Is that what they're?
It's a different girl.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But why?
Girl.
Why have her?
I
why
think
have the same exact girl as in Jedi? You know what I mean?
Because the other guy wants to have the.
Maybe they got a thing for boob chicks.
Yeah.
It could be.
Maybe. Yeah. You don't know.
So let me see. Tamora Morrison is 59, playing a 41-year-old. Okay, he looks it.
He does look.
He did look it.
He does. He
does look
it.
To see Boba Fett?
Huh?
What?
Were you surprised to see Boba Fett come back?
No.
Yeah.
I actually told my brother-in-law that I had a theory before this even happened that we were going to see Boba Fett because we saw him in the first episode, right? And then we hadn't seen him for like 4 or 5 episodes. Remember, he was at the end of episode 1 of season 2.
I didn't catch that.
You didn't see him at the end of
the last episode of season 1.
The last episode? No, I thought it was the first episode of season 2.
I don't know. So we saw him at the last episode because we just saw his boots. Because he walked.
Yeah, but then there was one time where he turned around. He was on Tatooine.
I don't know if that was around. I don't know.
I didn't pick up on it. I didn't pick up on it.
But yeah, he walks up because I think it was right after they destroyed the dragon.
Right. Exactly. Yes. And he turned around because he had his armor. Right.
Yeah, because he was walking up, and he turns around to face the camera, and I was like,
"Yes.
Oh fuck! Is that him?
Yeah,
that's him."
So I started talking to my brother-in-law, who was he watches all the Rebels and the Clone Wars and everything. And I said to him, I said, listen, Slave One is still out there somewhere. I said, let's just keep that
about this.
Yeah, I did. I said, how cool would it be? Because Mando's ship was getting beat to crap. And I said, that ship's going to get destroyed and they're going to start flying around in Slave One. And that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that we've never seen before. Inside that ship, it was all the gears were moving around.
That I thought was cool.
That was awesome.
That was really cool.
I've always wondered about that too.
Yeah.
Ever since I've seen it, I've always wondered. I wonder what it looks like from the inside. That was perfect.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was totally awesome. And then when the Sonic charge came out the back, that was even better.
That was cool. I was like, oh my God, here it comes, boy.
I know. And that, you know what? It came from one of the worst Star Wars movies, but it was still cool to see. You know what I mean? It really was. I mean,
at least he's taken like some of the best parts out of the shitty movies and just because I'm all right. So I know we've done this before. What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite in the whole series, and what's your worst? Think about that.
Go ahead, Lou.
Give me a few seconds. Lou, you're muted.
I'm thinking.
You're thinking. he had to mute it because he can't stand talking to himself.
I have a couple that I like at the top. So.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, listen, I don't want to just say Empire Strikes Back because everybody says that. You know what I mean?
That's okay. It's not mine.
No, I know. It's not mine either.
I've been a bitch to do it.
So the worst one for me? Let's do that.
Yeah.
It's definitely got to be Attack of the Clones. Got to be. Because I actually like Solo better than Attack of the Clones. I can't stand the love scene between the two. I can't stand Hayden Christensen's acting in that movie. So that's my worst.
Okay.
Lou, what's your worst?
Lou, what's your worst? Unmute. There you
go. Part 1.
The Phantom Menace?
Part 1, Phantom Menace.
Wow.
I hate all of those.
Really?
Because I just hate them all. 1, 2, and 3. 3, I kind of started agreeing it was okay that it started looking like 4, 5, and 6 because it was a darker, more serious tone. But I just not a fan.
See, Kenny and I have a very good lunchtime memory of the Phantom Menace. So I can't. All right. So in 1997, when the Phantom Menace came out,
God, pre-2000s,
right? No such thing as YouTube. So if you wanted to see a trailer, the only time you could see trailers for movies was during another movie. You couldn't look it up on Google, and it wasn't on the internet. So we had gotten wind that what was the movie was playing?
Oh,
it was Wing Commander. I think it was Wing Commander. Something? It was some space movie. I forget what it was, but it was playing.
It wasn't. It was some kind of kids movie.
Was it?
Because remember, we snuck in because it was like, oh shit, there's kids here.
So at lunchtime, I said to Ken, I said, listen, let's go down to the barn. Let's buy a ticket for the theater, watch the preview, and then go back to work. And we did.
We were worried that it was going to look weird that two grown men were walking.
You're right. So it was a kids movie. Definitely was. You're right. And then we walked in. We bought a ticket for $9 or whatever it was. Yeah. We sat down. We watched the preview. Phantom Menace.
Freaked out.
And that was it. So Phantom Menace is out of the prequels. That was my favorite out of all of them.
All right. So,
but my worst is definitely Attack of the Clones out of all the whole series.
I'm going to combine both of you because like I can't decide between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones because I hated them both. I really did. I thought Phantom Menace was way too political. Like Star Wars to me is not politics. It's not. It just sucked.
I know, but it had the best. But it had the best lightsaber battles out of every movie.
Jar Jar Binks.
That was.
I know
the lightsaber battle.
The lightsaber battle saved that movie. Yeah,
because that was showing what the Jedi Order, and the Sith could do.
Because our lightsaber battles from New Hope to Jedi, the lightsaber battles suck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
All of them.
But and then the Attack of the Clones, the love scenes, fuck that. That's not why I go to Star Wars movies.
No,
I go to Star Wars movies to see lightsabers, the Force, and space battles.
Yeah,
that's why I go. Little story in between. That's it. You know, don't give me that love shit. Don't give me this kid that was like 6 years old like 2 months ago, and now he's like fucking 16.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
For me, I mean, 1, 2, and 3 had their aha moments in there, but in general, I just didn't like them. You know, and what I mean by the aha moments is like, for example, you guys say in the Phantom Menace, it was the lightsaber scene. Okay, that was fine. You know, and another one, which one was it that where the little ETs showed up in the council?
Easter egg. Yeah,
that was my aha moment there.
Or what about Willow showing up at the pod racing?
That was great.
Yeah.
But overall, I just hated those 3 movies so much because, like I said, it started turning more serious, more into, you know, what parts 4, 5, and 6 were. You know, there wasn't that comedy crap that was in 1 and 2 that George Lucas was trying to put in. I didn't care for that. I didn't care for Jar Jar Binks, and you know, it didn't mean, you know,
what they tried to do better. Or what they did with 3PO in the second one, where they tried to make him the comedic part. You know, they took his head off and put it on a battle droid. And listen, that kind of stuff I liked. I like that about the battle droids. I like the concept behind all that stuff. You know, I just think that sometimes it just didn't work. You know,
it didn't. They tried to force it too much.
Yeah.
The original trilogy, when you did laugh, it was like the most I can remember about the original trilogy is mostly Han Solo.
Yeah.
And Chewie. Like them two made it funny because like his reactions to some shit like was just like spontaneous. It was real and it wasn't forced. In the prequels, you had this dumb fucking character that was there to appease kids. Like, no.
Oh, Jar Jar, Yep.
It's not about pleasing kids. It's a space opera. Fucking show me fighting.
Even in The Force Awakens, Han and Chewie were good.
Yeah.
Remember when they landed on the planet and he goes, "Oh, what? You're cold?" You know, like just those little nuances that those two had was perfect.
They were good. They worked good together. I mean, but in the later episodes, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I think we had this discussion, like me and Joe. I think we've had this discussion, but in the sequels, the sequel trilogy, there was too much between Poe and what's his name?
D'Artagnan. Yeah,
Finn. Finn and Poe were like competing to be the comedic relief, and it was just too much.
And I thought Finn did a good job with it. Like I thought he, Poe should have just been his thing in a fighter. Right.
Separate, then yeah, I think it would have worked better. But
yeah,
when they get together and they're both trying to be funny,
right.
No, it was too much.
Yeah.
We're talking about a resistance, the story, getting into the story. It's a resistance that's going to die because they're trying to fight, the evil. So yeah, all right. So moving on.
So, all right. So we got the worst.
All right.
So you haven't given your worst though. You haven't actually said what's your worst one.
Yeah.
So
you can't play between two. You got to pick one.
I think
that's gonna hurt.
I smell something.
All right, I'm gonna go with Attack of the Clones
over Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace because two reasons. One,
probably the same reason, but
the lightsaber scene and nostalgia. Because of that fucking stupid lunchtime preview that we went to go see, like that always, because that reignited Star Wars for everyone. Even though it was a bad movie, it really wasn't that great. Aside from the lightsaber,
it was still exciting.
It still ignited Star Wars in more people. The next generation, and
it was like when we went to see. It was like when we went to see Superman Returns. That was great. That was a great night.
Yeah,
that was a great night.
In my cheap dollar store Superman costume.
It's still awesome. It's still that movie had a lot of nostalgia with it too.
Yeah.
All right, Lucia, what's your favorite movie?
Why me?
Because you started it.
No, Kenny started it.
I did.
We're all afraid to say our favorite.
No, I already know my favorite.
What? Is it Empire?
What's your favorite? No. I know what his favorite is. Rogue One. Yeah.
Yep. If it was, a fight, it'd be between Rogue One and for me, Return of the Jedi. And the reason why Return of the Jedi was close for me is I like the big, space battle scenes.
Right.
I love that stuff. Ship on ship type of stuff. But no, Rogue One, because it brought back everything that I felt when I watched, Star Wars and the original stuff. You go in there, and when the blue milk appeared, everybody screamed in the theater. I was like, look, blue milk. Just all this stuff. And, for me, I'm a big, everybody loves the X-Wing. I love the Y-Wing. And in Rogue One, they actually used the Y-Wing for what it was supposed to be used, not as target practice. Because in the other movies, it's only target practice. In this one, it actually did its job. So, but for me, it was Rogue One. I just loved the whole story, everything going. It was fast paced. It was good. I enjoyed it. But at the same time, Rogue One seems to be the forgotten Star Wars film.
Holy shit, Bob. That's one of my favorites. Oh my God. Oh, that is awesome. Great movie. What was the girl's name in that? Sindel, right? Oh, Battle for Endor. I used to love them when I was a kid.
I still have that. I have that.
I have it too. I mean, I can YouTube it right now and start watching it. It's for free. Oh God. All right, so you're saying Rogue One?
Yeah.
Stupid ship.
Yeah.
All right, so did you pick Joe? What's yours?
It's for me. It's got to be Return of the Jedi. It came out in '83, and it was the first movie I ever saw in the movies, and I just remember going to the Devon movie theater down the city. It was $1.50, and when that ramp came down, and here comes Vader walking down with the smoke and everything, on the second Death Star. You're just like, holy shit. I mean, I was 7 years old in 1983. So, yeah, I would have to say for me, it's still Jedi. Like if Jedi's on, I'm not turning it off. Harrison Ford, he's in his prime. Luke doesn't look like a little whiny bitch in it. You know what I mean? Leia looks good. Right. So, I mean, Jedi gives you everything. It gives you a little TNA. It gives you lightsabers. You know what I mean? Like what other Star Wars movie gives you that?
You know what's funny? It's we can almost look back now that we're old and say that Star Wars grew up with us because we were so much younger when the original movie came out, and then as we got to those ages where it's like, oh, we want to see that, she pops in and it's like, oh my God, she will forever be in my background. She's never gonna leave.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's got to be Return of the Jedi, and then definitely Rogue One is number 2, or it could be 1 and 1A, but definitely Jedi is my number 1. So,
for everyone in the chat room watching, like, let us know what your favorite is and what your worst is, because I'd be interested to see what that is. So, for me, I'm gonna say it has to be A New Hope. And the reason behind that is because that's what started it all. Like, when I think of Star Wars, my first thought is Luke standing on the dune with his leg up, looking at the 2 suns. And it's like, that's what started it all for me. So like, that's my first experience with a lightsaber, my first experience with Darth Vader. Look at that. It was just that moment, like that's the beginning of everything for me. Because I'm a big, I mean, look at my background. Yeah. I'm a geek. I'm a total geek. And that moment, when you get through the opening scene with the fight, like that was amazing. Like we never saw that before. Like, holy shit. And who's this big guy in black armor? Like, who the fuck is he? Holy crap. He just choked a guy without even breaking a sweat. And we can't see if he broke a sweat because we can't see his face.
Right.
And then it goes to this farm boy, this nobody. And it's like the classic hero from nothing story. And it was just, I thought it was great. The droids, Luke, just losing everything and just saying, all right, I'm all in and going for it. And eventually being the one that blows up the most powerful thing in the universe, in the galaxy. Sorry. It's just, and it's a self-contained movie. If we never had any other movies,
that's it.
It stays within itself. It works that way. So for me, that would be my favorite, of the whole franchise. And then of course, Rogue One would be number 2 because I did like that it went outside the norm. You know, it didn't have to it didn't have to follow a family.
Agreed, Jason.
What do we got?
I didn't like the
Last Jedi, but the Lightspeed Kamikaze and
Kamikaze. Yeah.
That is the only scene. Well, no, okay.
That's what? Okay, here we go. We're gonna do this.
We're gonna do this, bitch.
All right.
That scene, yes, I totally agree, Jason. That scene was epic, except I think it shouldn't have been her.
I agree.
It should not have been her.
I agree.
Because I think that was stealing something, and Admiral Akbar should have been there. That should have been his moment. You know, like I know like the rumors were like the first movie of the sequel trilogy was supposed to be Han Solo, and the second was supposed to be Luke's coming back, and then the third was supposed to be Leia's. You know, but that was a moment that should have gone to Admiral Akbar, and like him going out, like fucking awesome hero, and I would have loved it. I would have stood up in the theater and fucking clapped, like, goddamn, that's fucking awesome. So
he die in the first battle, right?
He died like a shitty way, like the
first battle. Yeah, he was
stupid. It was stupid, and it's not. That just tells me you don't pay attention to the story. You're not paying attention to who's who in the story.
Don't worry, Jason. We're getting to that part. Believe you me.
What's he saying?
Yeah.
What's he saying? I was there when you guys, with you guys when you saw Last Jedi. We all said, "What the fuck?" When Leia did the Mary Poppins.
That's the one that when I saw that part, that was what I even said in the movie. That's fucking Mary Poppins.
Yeah, just why? Why are you? Why? And I said to him, and I'm looking at him like, why are you holding on to this woman? She's dead. Let her go. That's it right there. Why do you need to bring her into the next movie? Don't. And
well, on top of that, when she did that whole, she got sucked out of the ship and she's like 50 miles away from the spacecraft, whatever, and she's doing Mary Poppins.
I love Lou's math. 50 miles away.
That shit, a big ass ship, I'll tell you that.
Hell yeah. But no, what had ruined it for me too was a few days prior to that, I had read an article about what would happen to the human body if you were out in space without the suit. And so I'm thinking all of these things. I'm like, there's no way. I don't care what kind of Jedi power you have. All this shit is supposed to be going on to your body in the first 30 seconds. Now, I'm not going to go look it up, and I'm not going to say what it was. You can look it up and Google it yourself. But I just didn't get past it. And I was just thinking, right now, her blood should be boiling. Right now, this should be happening. This is bullshit. From 50 miles away, she's going to greyhound her ass back to the ship. Like, oh, look, I'm here. I'm safe.
So, you know what?
Everybody else died.
So I have the same problem, Lou, with Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yes.
This motherfucker can put a helmet on, but his hands and everything else, he's wearing a leather jacket, but he's got a helmet on flying around outer space. And he and all he has is these little boots, and he can fly around better than Iron Man. And Iron Man's got all the,
Even when he puts his helmet on, it all covers here.
Yeah, this is all exposed.
The top is open.
Like, come on.
I mean, I have the same thoughts too. When he goes out in space and does all that shit, I'm thinking, no, this should be happening to him too. And so, no, I agree with you. I agree with you.
And then
Mary Poppins thing, they should have just let her go. That should have been the end of it, because her death in Rise of Skywalker was stupid.
To be fair, they were limited in what they could do. She was already gone. She was already
let her go.
I mean, well, see, I understand the plan was that was the third movie was her movie, but that was her out. But she died before they were filmed, so they didn't have any footage. All the footage we see of her is recycled, and that's why it looks so. It looks so robotic. It looks out of place. You see her scenes, and you're like, she's totally not reacting to that. She's just going. She's going through
the mode. Yeah, just saying these stupid lines, the stupid one. Yeah, exactly.
And that's because they decided not to to clone her, for lack of a better word. Do the whole CGI thing or whatever. So they just reused footage. So it was horrible. But in the second scene was Luke's scene where he walked out of the base.
Right.
That was a good part. I liked that part. That was great when he walked out, and you had no idea.
No, and it's funny because when you go back and like when you watch it for the first time, it's like what was the movie with Bruce Willis where he played the ghost?
Oh,
but he didn't know he's
oh shit!
God damn it! The Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense, yeah.
Oh. And you go back and you're watching this movie, and Chrissy swears she knew he was dead the whole time, but like you go through and then you watch it again, you're like, oh shit!
What's up, Rick?
You're right. Like they did it so well for you to watch the first time. And then when you go back and watch the end of, when he walks out in the base, you notice that he's not making the footprints, the snow or the salt's not landing on him. You know what I mean? So like there's these little nuances that that was happening because they would show like one of the regular guys walking.
Kylo Ren. Right. Kylo Ren does the thing where he scrapes his foot and you see him scrape the salt away. Right. And then the next scene after they pass each other, Luke does the same thing, but nothing happens.
Right. And you still didn't realize it at that time. You still had no idea.
You no idea.
No idea. So that was definitely creative, but
let's look at what Bob said and kind of bring up it.
This one, yeah.
No, I think it was the one with the Last Jedi. You said where they added the extras, the extra characters.
The original.
I'm assuming I'm assuming. I don't know if this is what he's talking about, but for me, Return of the Jedi was ruined in the sense, and towards the end anyway, when you had the original 3 spirits show up. Obi-Wan Kenobi, his dad, and Yoda.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that part.
When they
replaced Anakin, and took out, Luke's or the original Darth Vader in there,
and they put in Hayden.
Yeah, and I was like, for me, ever since then, now whenever you see that part where Luke goes up to that tree and he rests his arm on it and he looks past it, that's when I turn off the TV because I don't want to see, what they did. That to me, that was sacrilegious. I thought that was a piece of shit.
Sebastian Shaw. Sebastian Shaw was the original Anakin Skywalker.
Or Anakin,
and they should have left them there.
Yeah, I agree. I think they did a total disservice. I think they fucked the fans, and I think they screwed over Sebastian because that was his only role.
Yeah, you never saw him other than
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he was in the suit when they unmasked Vader at the end.
He was in the suit. Yes, he did wear the suit.
So you get to see him, but to see him in all his glory, this is when he was redeemed.
Right.
So let's see him like that, not when he's this fucking whiny ass motherfucker. And I feel bad. I do feel bad because Hayden Christensen, I know he tried, and he can only be. I want to venture to say he can only be as good as an actor in the films as the director directs him.
Yeah, I mean, he got better. He got better with Sith, but he still wasn't great.
He was still very almost blah.
Well, he was a brand new star.
He was.
New, and that's what Lucas was going for. All these good-looking, brand new actors, which he was hoping would promote or help push the success of the film, like Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford did when they barely came out. They were young, they were attractive. I think that's what he was looking for here as well. But for what they did at the end of Return of the Jedi I thought was horrible. So for me, again, I only watched the end when Luke puts his arm in the tree, and then I turn it off because unless I'm watching the original ones that I have, but outside that, I won't watch that section.
Yeah. They changed the music at the end of Jedi, and they added and they added
And the Ewoks weren't playing their traditional, sticks on drums. They were playing techno, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah. No, all right. So what Jay just said there about he likes some of the extra scenes in the original trilogy. There were some good add-ons to the original trilogy. I liked some of the fighter scenes where you see the guys' heads moving around in the ship, or there was a couple of scenes where there was that one scene where in the New Hope battle at the end where he blew up a TIE fighter, but the X-Wing went through the, you know what I mean? There was a couple of good, there were a couple of good added, but then it just got to be too much.
Because
I think he got carried away.
I remember
the Jabba the Hutt scene. Oh God.
So awful.
Why? Why?
Well, I remember going to a meeting where they were bringing up these new scenes for Star Wars, The New Hope. Yeah. And one of the new scenes that they were talking about was the scene where you see all the X-Wings and the Y-Wings getting ready, in battle formation to go towards the Death Star. Yeah. And if you see the original, they're almost one behind the other.
Yeah.
And then in the new one, what they did is they made them all scattered. And then what they also did is when they start peeling off, they started doing them one at a time. Whereas in the original, it was almost all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
So there were some good things on there that they did do, but the majority of them just sucked.
I agree that they overdid it. I mean, I think Lucas got this new technology, and he was like a kid that was over enthusiastic about it, and was like, "Oh, let's change all of this."
I agree.
Some of the things, like subtle details, like you were mentioning, Joe and Lou. I mean, in Empire, when you had these blank backgrounds that had nothing on them, and then they made them windows,
right?
And you could see outside into the city. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
I liked it because it gave it more depth. It was like, all right,
I agree.
this is what would be in that city because it's a cloud fucking city. You would see all this. I get it, but like adding stuff like Mos Eisley. I mean, when they did that in some of the scenes, especially in A New Hope, when they added some of the creatures, and especially when they added creatures for comic relief,
right,
it pissed me off because it was just, you could tell that they were CGI. They looked awful, and it wasn't funny.
Oh God, how about the cantina scene in Jedi when they did that little song and dance and they had the two with size new? Oh my God, that was so bad. I'm watching it. I was embarrassed.
Yeah, the puppets, the puppets that they had in the original, was great. I loved it because it was really there, and it looked like it was really there. I mean, now looking at it, you can tell it was a puppet, but of course it still looked better than the CGI bullshit they added later.
It just and Bob's right too, that the added extras, what he's saying, doesn't fit the original tech through the rest of the movie. Like, he's right. There were some things like, when the Falcon took off out of the hangar, that was kind of cool, but again, it did not look like it was from 1977. It looked really modern, and it looked cleaner.
I get what they did with the redubbing of the voice. I understand why. Because when they retrofit it because of the clone troopers, I get that. But they didn't stick with that. They just didn't stick with it. It kind of died out.
And really, the only voice it was when he was telling them to put in the cargo bay, right?
Yeah.
The only,
I really didn't hear too much else.
I don't really think he talks much else. He doesn't talk much in Jedi, or if anything.
Yeah, he just kind of nods, No
Yeah.
disintegrations. Okay.
Yeah.
Or shit like that. Go ahead, Lou.
Since we're busy beating up movies and added scenes and characters, is there a character that you wish they made either a miniseries with or a movie with that has gotten no attention whatsoever?
Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not even a question. Yeah. How do we not have a Vader series being announced? I think it's going to happen. I really do. I think that this Obi-Wan series is going to. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Oh yeah, look, that's too. I like that.
All original.
Yeah, exactly. Just leave them like that. You don't need to do anything else.
Yeah. You don't need anyone else.
Yep. So yes, Vader would have my vote.
Not me.
Who?
Porkins.
Oh my God.
Porkins.
Your namesake.
Tell me a movie with Porkins wouldn't be interesting.
Shake, Lou. Do the truffle shuffle.
What did she say? Buffy, you already know most of Vader's story. Actually, we don't. We don't know anything about Vader's story from the end of Revenge of the Sith to like the whole hunt for the Jedi.
Right. We know more about Vader's story than we do Porkins.
I disagree because.
But you want to know about Porkins. I could care less about him.
Nobody fucking cares about Porkins.
Here's the reason why it would be interesting.
Porkins had his 15 minutes of fame. He had his 15 minutes of fame.
But you can build on that. You can build so much on that character.
No, you can't. He had no other job.
There is a story behind Porkins that you refuse to admit because he's fat and you shame people. As far as I know, Porkins and his X-Wing has a cup full of fried bacon in there. That's what he's doing. Actually, Porkins, the actual guy was a really smart dude. He passed away a few years back, but the man spoke, I think, 6 languages fluently.
You know a lot lot about Porkins.
He is Porkins.
You would be amazed if you ever really got into who this guy was. The guy was I mean, he had a really high IQ, but no, I just think Porkins would be an interesting, even if you made it a 30-minute movie, series.
That's not a movie. That's a series. That's a limited series.
No. Or whatever. Make it that for him. That would be a movie.
That's like an episode of Saved by the Bell.
Who cares? It's Porkins. Stop fat shaming them.
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying that we don't know the story of Vader, but I'd like to see it. I'd like to see like how badass he was in Rogue One at the end. I'd like to see that from Sith to Rogue One.
See, we see that if you read the comic series. So Marvel put out a comic series of Vader, and I've collected a bunch of them.
Vader's out the window.
He's a badass. I mean, I think this brings up a good point. What we see in Rogue One, that is the most badass we see Vader ever.
Right.
In the movie franchise.
Same as Luke in The Mandalorian. That's badass. Yeah, we've never seen him like that.
Badass we see Luke.
Right.
I mean, that's fucking amazing. So this is what we expect. I mean, when us nerds, when we think in our heads about Vader and Luke and any Jedi, that's what we see. But in reality, what we've seen on the movies and any series that have come up so far, besides those two scenes, the Jedi are just like, eh.
So what about you, Kenny? Who would you want?
Out of everyone,
I mean, we're already going to see a Fett story, so you can't.
We're already going to see Fett. We're going to see Obi-Wan.
What I'm trying to say is get away from the popular ones.
We're going to see Ahsoka.
Get away from the popular characters. Somebody that's outside.
Popular characters. I mean, what does that mean? Ahsoka is popular.
No, he said get away from the popular ones.
Oh, get away from the popular ones. All right, so we want to see like I want to see something about that female Yoda species. I want to know where that hooker came from and what she's all about, because that was freaky as shit.
There's already a movie out on that. Gremlins.
Oh my god.
Gremlins.
I figured you'd say that.
Your wife wants to see a Yoda story, an origin Yoda story.
That could be good.
How did he end up? Why did he end up? Well, we obviously know why he ended up in Dagobah.
I mean, you have 600 years worth of material.
Well, think about that race is completely mysterious anyway.
Right.
You know,
it doesn't have a name.
We only know about them from Yoda and from Grogu. That's it. We don't know their origins. Nothing.
I mean, I think it's great that, like, once they introduced the child, it was nicknamed Baby Yoda, because we have no name for the race.
And do you think that's just something that the fans did, or do you think that that's what they did? Did they actually call him Baby Yoda, or did the fans do it?
I think the fans totally did that.
All right, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, we totally did that because we had no other name.
Here's another one. Of course, it's going to be crazy. Greedo.
Well, so maybe do. I mean, we do see him, but like maybe like do like a bounty hunter, like all the bounty hunters. I don't know. I mean, that could be interesting.
And Porkins kills them all.
Porkins. Well, listen, the spinoff.
This is what I deal with. This is why we stopped doing the show.
I'm telling you, I used to just sit there and just listen on Friday nights. I just put it on my phone. I'm watching TV, or me and my buddy Jason are playing PlayStation. And I'm just listening to you guys. Jay's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "That's my buddy's podcast." But I think
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu. So here's one character. He's popular, but is Qui-Gon. We met him in Phantom Menace, and I loved him. I thought he was great. I thought he was a really good part of that movie. But like, you never saw anything beforehand. Like, I understand that the Old Republic is going to be 200 years before Phantom Menace.
Something like that, yeah.
So we're not going to see him at all. But that would be
those are going to be more like the video games.
Okay. Yeah. But I think Qui-Gon would be an interesting, just an interesting little. How did he meet? How did him and Obi-Wan get together? You know what I mean? Like that whole demographic. Right. You know,
I would like to see Darth Sidious.
What's up, Francisco?
You know, like I want to see something from the Sith side. Like we see a lot from the Jedi side, or the rebellion working with the Jedi. But right. I want to see something. I would like to see a series that focused on the Sith, but from their point of view as more of a, we're not going to do what they say. We're kind of rebels of the rebels kind of thing, where it almost puts in perspective, like they're just doing their own thing. They're not necessarily evil. And the dark side is not necessarily evil, but hey, we're exploring all of the Force, not just what you say is the good side.
What you say is the good side, right?
Yeah. I think I would be interested in that. Like just flipping it a little bit on what we already know, because like
seeing it from another
we think about Jedi and Sith, and we always see everything from the angle of the Jedi. You know,
well, and again,
the good guy.
I think we're seeing a little bit of that with the Empire, with the Rebellion, or with Mandalorian, where you're going into these Empire buildings and like, you know, factories and stuff, and these guys are just talking about it like it's an everyday job. Like they're not trying to overtake the world and try and destroy, you know. And there's some people who are say that the rebels are the bad guys. You know what I mean? And these guys are trying to do this, and the rebels are the ones that are trying to fuck it all up.
Have you ever played the X-Wing games on the computer?
Yeah.
So what you're talking about, they have a perfect way of showing it. If you're fighting, you know, playing the X-Wing game and you're playing from the side of the rebels, you can see how they feel oppressed and blah, blah, blah. But if you see it when you play for the Empire, just like you said, you know, they show their view of how they view the rebels from their side, you know, completely, you know, terrorists or they're out of control. But even though it's political, but you see the way they look at each other, you know, politic wise. And I think they did that really well in the one when you're flying for the Imperials. So
I like the episode of The Mandalorian where they went undercover with the mining colony and they're transporting, and you got to see like when they came back, when they survived the attack from the insurgents and they got back to the base, all the stormtroopers and everything were like, they're celebrating. And you saw it from their angle where it was like, okay, like these are people in an army, they're following orders and they're celebrating.
Right.
Like you don't really think that of the bad guys.
Right.
And I would definitely like to see something maybe from their
more perspective of the Empire or the
I really like the whole overall theme of that episode because it showed a different perspective.
Well, I think these Disney Plus movies or these shows are really, you can just do anything with them. You really can. I mean, because Jedi are cool.
Fuck yeah.
I worked hard to where I got. I should be proud of it. I still think that you have 20 years between Revenge of the Sith and the end of Rogue One. Okay, give or take. And what did Vader do for those 20 years? What was he doing?
Right.
From the time he was standing on the bar on the thing like this, just staring there at the Death Star being built, to Rogue One. What happened over there?
Yeah.
So that would be
there's like 18, 20 years, something. I forget how old Luke is supposed to be, but you have that.
He's somewhere in the mid to late teens.
Yeah, like what was going on? And some of the comics address that.
Yeah, exactly. So why not? You know?
And but again, even in the comics, even while they're addressing that, it crosses over with Han Solo.
Right. Exactly.
A little bit. Yeah. So I would love to see some of that. I would love to see the in-between stories.
I think that's the direction that these guys are going on. I think that they were putting out a movie every year. They were doing Rogue One, Force Awakens, Solo, Last Jedi. They were just overdoing it. Granted, they got my money.
Right.
But the Grievous is good too. That's an idea.
Yeah.
You know, for a mini series, it's all you gotta do is just do a mini series of it. You know,
we should do this.
A stormtrooper training video.
We should totally make this. I think this would be cool. That would be a cool project to do.
If you look at the Sith code, you'll find.
Wait, there you go. You'll find that you relate to it more than you think. It pretty much, I worked hard to where I got. I should be proud of it. So this has real world not precautions.
Yeah, I know you're saying. Yeah.
Because like on the other shows that I do or the paranormal stuff that I do, like it's come up sometimes about like the satanic verses or the satanic Bible. And like when we talk about religion, when you read the satanic Bible, you realize like, holy shit, I can fucking relate to this so much more than the Bible. And that's a discussion for another show. But join me on Friday nights if you want to talk about that.
Yeah. Listen, I'm always hanging out in there, believe you me.
Yeah. So, but when you see stuff like this, I mean, the Sith Code, I actually have the Sith book because Lucasfilm and Disney put out these books, which are really cool. The Jedi Order, the Sith book, you have the Mandalorian Code, stuff like that. But you read them and it's like, oh shit, you can really, I mean, they're fiction. Let me put that disclaimer out there. They're totally fiction, just like the other books. But you can relate to them. You can totally relate to them and you get it. So when you look at the Sith Code, you can totally relate to what they're saying because it's not such a bad thing. And to see a series based on the Sith, like the background, the stuff in the shadows behind the scenes that you don't see, I would love to see that. I think if you want to do a drama series, fuck, there you go.
Yeah.
Total drama.
I agree.
Total drama right there. So I would watch it. I would totally watch it.
What did Bob just say? Bob, if I think that word midichlorian should be stricken from Star Wars. I think that word should never be ever used again.
Wait, where did he say that?
Look one above. Go up one.
One above. Oh, okay. Yeah. I want to see an episode of the Cosmo where Neil deGrasse explains midichlorians. So
don't
you know
ever
what?
Say that. I can't stand that word. I really hate it.
I think they're bringing it back. It looks like they're bringing it back with the child. I mean, because they talked about analyzing his blood.
I know. Did they actually say it though? Did they say the word?
I'm not sure. There was one line in there that I didn't hear right. I couldn't tell if they said it or not. But they said something about they exhausted the blood supply and they said something else. I'm not sure what they said. But they're obviously using it for cloning purposes because you see a tank that has what looks like a clone, and I'm guessing this is the pre-Emperor cloning techniques or the post-Emperor Snoke kind of shit that goes on. But they're trying to get the child's blood to enhance the Force, I guess. And I mean, unfortunately, we know that.
They got it.
That comes into the midichlorian thing. So
yes, that's fine, and I get it. But that when they brought that word out in Phantom Menace, I'm just like, stop it.
Sucked. It sucked.
Stop it.
You know what? Like I love science. I'm the biggest skeptic that you'll find. I mean, if anyone knows me, you know how I roll. But when I watch Star Wars, I don't pay attention to any of that shit.
I know.
It's like, this is Star Wars. I want to watch it. So they started bringing science. Lou, what the fuck, Lou?
Where'd he go?
Oh, he froze up, I think.
Oh, did he? Yeah, I saw him like locked in there for a second.
Yeah. Oh, well, he'll have to click on the link and come back in. I'll decide whether I want to let him back in.
Yeah.
Or not. So you're my new Lou.
That's fine.
So I totally forget where I was going with that point.
With the midichlorians.
Yeah. So yeah, they're bringing it back, and I hate it when they brought the science into it.
Yeah.
I
just keep it dumb. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to overanalyze it.
Keep it consistent.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Like when we got into like the sequels where it was like, okay, they dropped bombs in The Last Jedi, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Wow, are they spring loaded? Do they have little jets on them?
Is that what's going on? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
If it's spring loaded, I'm on board. I'm totally
Yeah.
on board. But it didn't look like that.
No.
But yeah, like like Bob said, you don't have to explain everything. Yes,
You
don't have to explain everything.
No.
Keep it consistently dumb throughout the series.
Right.
And
but I feel like they were trying to. I feel like they were trying to bring too much science. It's not Star Trek. You know what I mean? Like
right.
it's they were just trying to bring too much science into and just let it happen. Okay. If we have to question how did that happen, it's Star Wars. Anything can happen. It's a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. We're dealing with magic here. We have the Force.
Right.
You can pretty much do whatever you want
with the Force.
Blame it on the Force.
Yep. That's right.
So run with it. Just go with it. Don't give it a scientific background. Don't give it some fucking thing in your blood. No.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
You ruined it. You ruined it at that moment.
So what you were discussing with me the other day, where are we at? We're about an hour and a half now. Oh my God. About the sequels.
Okay.
And you think that they should be redone.
I do.
So what didn't you let's take the I can understand I can understand Jedi and I can understand. But what's wrong with The Force Awakens in your opinion?
All right. So
because that's literally my second favorite movie.
Really?
It's like it's like it's Jedi, Rogue One, and then Force Awakens is like right there. It is. And I don't know if it's just because there was so much.
There he is.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Wedge.
Hey.
How do you change your name? I don't even know how to do that.
Oh, really?
You got to be a Jedi like me.
Oh, shit. Whatever. Shut the fuck up. All right. So you have to repeat that, Joe.
What is you wanted to change? You think that now that the prequels should be redone, what didn't you like about The Force Awakens?
So I guess my problem was that
because it gave us almost everything we wanted.
Did it?
It gave us fan service. It gave us lightsabers. It gave us action. There was no TNA in it.
I think my problem was that it was almost too much of a reflection or a mirror image of A New Hope, because they tried to make Rey Luke Skywalker, and I would have rather they done some kind of different story with her. But I guess overall, I didn't like the fact that the Jedi were so easily forgotten. I mean, the battle, we're talking what? How far after
30 years?
Return of the Jedi. 30 years?
Let's keep in mind, though, that Luke in Jedi is the only Jedi. So there are no other Jedis that are really known.
But even then, I mean, if we go back to A New Hope,
there's none.
Only extinct for how long? Less than 20 years?
So 30,
20 years.
20, 25.
Luke's life.
Yeah.
Luke's life. So he's only 18 or 20 years old. That's not a long time. And I mean, right before he was born, you had a Jedi Council. You had Coruscant that was like this big capital of the Jedi Order. Jedi everywhere.
Which apparently is still around.
Yes.
So even in Rise of Skywalker, it's still around. But in the original trilogy, it was just completely never even mentioned.
And then Luke should have become a legend because he was the one that blew up the Death Star. He was the one that made the run. And it was like, oh shit, Luke Skywalker. And he's known. I mean, we get that idea with the sequels because they tell his story.
Right.
But he should have already been a legend. And
well, I'm wondering though, but a legend to who? Because there's no Jedi around anymore. So who's
That's not what I'm talking about. He should have been a legend because he was the one that blew up the Death Star. So in a galaxy that is ruled by the Empire, and you blow up the Death Star, the biggest fucking weapon ever by the Empire, like with most of their people, because as we learned in the the season finale of The Mandalorian, millions of Imperial personnel died on the Death Star.
But all right, so he blew up Death Star 1. So does that mean that Lando and whatever that guy's name is, are they legends?
Yes. They should be.
In Rise of the Skywalker, like he was actually like underground, like he was like hiding for the last 20, 30 years.
Another reason I didn't like the sequels.
So there's a time gap, which I think The Mandalorian has now given us the opportunity to fill with bringing Luke Skywalker in 5 years post Jedi. And now if they're going to do a saga, now we can start filling in this 30-year timeline as to what happened. Why did Luke, are we going to see the training of Ben Solo? Are we going to see the Jedi Temple fall? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Is that what The Mandalorian has opened up for us for the next 20 years?
I think The Mandalorian has changed the timeline.
You think? I think it's expanded it.
When we consider now that Luke is not the only Jedi, and that's what we thought about before. Like that was our idea before the Mandalorian series, that Jedi was that Luke was the sole Jedi left in the universe, in the galaxy. So besides the ones that we didn't know about, because Order 66, yeah, it wiped out the Jedi that were affiliated with the council that we knew of, but I'm sure there's plenty out there that we didn't know of. But Luke was the only one we knew of. He's there. He's starting the Jedi Temple. He tries to restart the Jedi Temple.
Right.
That's right, Bob.
Super duper
Antilles. He wasn't a Jedi, you dumb fuck.
He is now.
Oh my god.
Although he's like 78 years old flying a freaking
I'm so glad he came back though.
I know, that was cool. It just that little tidbit, like, oh, there he was. Yeah.
When he showed up, I yelled out his name.
Yeah. I did too. I was like, oh, Wedge!
Yeah.
Wedge, that was awesome.
I don't think it's changed the timeline. I think it's expanded it, and I think it's opened it up to more possibilities. Does Luke not have another change of clothes because he's still wearing the same Jedi? I mean, for shit's sake, like, is that what you're wearing for 5 years?
I would have liked to see the flap. I would have liked to see the flap.
Yeah.
With the little gray going. Right. That would have been nice. I mean, that was a telltale sign. I was like, all right, that's his Jedi outfit. Okay.
Right.
Like, he's still
dark. I mean, listen, they're only going to be able to go so far with this unless this Sebastian Stan thing happens.
That would be awesome.
I've seen it. Like, they've actually taken his face and like put Luke's hair on it from A New Hope.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, it looks good.
Let me see if I can bring that up.
You can probably, yeah. It was just
as Luke Skywalker. So hold on, let me see. I bring that up. God damn.
There's probably a ton of them.
And I don't even know if this is real or not, but it just fucking looks awesome.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can share the screen here. Boom, boom. So there.
Yeah. That's definitely Sebastian Stan right there on the right. You can see like it's just his face is a little more blocky, and yeah, dude, that's unreal.
Have both of you finished orgasming?
I mean, that's just listen. That's how you tell the story. That's how you fill in the timeline between Jedi and Force Awakens.
This is how you do a fucking solo movie.
Yeah.
Right here. You get an actor that looks like the original actor.
I know, but dude, they got so. I mean, that's. I don't know who are you gonna find.
Because so are we saying in the Mandalorian Are we kind of saying they kind of superimposed Mark Hamill's face on somebody else's when he shows up in the show?
Oh yeah,
it was a different actor. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now you can kind of see that actor's real face when he goes back into the elevator.
In the elevator,
you can see his actual face. Because they really didn't do that much to disguise it at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to look it up here. I just watched a video on it on the actual actor, and I mean, he doesn't look like him.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh no, it just had the same body type. That's all he had to do.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And that's all you need. You just need the same body type, and then you're good to go. But wait, there he is. So here we go. Boom. So there's the guy. This is him.
Oh, that's the guy who was actually doing the acting.
Yes, that was the guy. Yeah, in the series.
Okay.
And they grafted Luke's face on it, or Mark Hamill's face onto it. And I saw that they used all the footage from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it was a lot of yeah.
And you had enough. I mean, but it was just. I mean, it shifted a lot.
So the question is, where do you think the Mandalorian goes from here?
I think they're going to explore. I think this Bo-Katan and Mando with the Darksaber. I think they're going to, because what's his name?
Right.
The black guy from
Breaking Bad.
Gideon.
Breaking Bad. Gideon. Yeah, Moff Gideon. Like, he's still alive.
Hermanos.
What's that?
That was his restaurant in Breaking Bad.
Yeah. But I mean, they already mentioned Thrawn, so you gotta bring him into it. I don't think we've seen the last of Ahsoka. She did way too good of a job to just let that Qui-Gon let that happen like Qui-Gon.
She's getting her own series.
Yeah. Oh, is she?
Yeah. Her series is already planned.
Okay.
And then, I thought she was amazing. I mean,
oh my God, that was so good.
I was waiting for that because as soon as I saw like the fan service where it was like, oh, Rosaria, she has to be it. Yes, absolutely. I'm on board with that.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think she did a great job. She was badass, and she did exactly. Again, it goes back to the Luke and Vader in the Mandalorian / Rogue One, respectively, showing how badass a Jedi can be.
Yeah.
And these series are the ones that are doing it, not the original saga.
Yeah, even Obi-Wan was badass in the first three in the trilogies, in the prequels, you know. Right. But then I think they did a good job in the sequels, Rise of Skywalker. We're not going to talk about Jedi, and then The Force Awakens, where like it was like Rey was raw. Like she was just swinging. I didn't like the fact that Finn was able to wield the lightsaber. That shouldn't have happened. But I do like the fact that like she would just grab that lightsaber and just beat the hell out of him. It was just raw hatred. You know what I mean? Like there was no training. There was just nothing. Just give me it and let me figure it out. So that was one of the aspects I did like about The Force Awakens. So I think they did a good job with that. But you can tell that in the prequels, Jedis were trained. It was a bit, there was a lot of things. There's a lot of Jedi around, so these guys knew how to use their weapons,
right?
As opposed to what we got as kids.
And I think I have a problem with that because I've done training, and like I've trained with a sword, and I know like I've gone out with I've gone out with groups doing the not cosplay, but the what's it called? When you go out with the medieval people and
the reenactments,
Renaissance fair,
not the Renaissance fair, but the you have the padded swords and you're doing the
jousting.
Jousting is a sport. Oh my God, what is it?
He said LARP. What's LARP?
LARPing. Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Live action.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob.
Good job, Bob.
I've gone out there. And it's funny because I trained with a sword, but then I went to a park with a group and did LARPing, and I got my ass handed to me on a silver plate, because it was so much different. So when I see like a potential force user, even in the movies, pick up a lightsaber and just able to take on an almost Sith Lord, because they still haven't established what he was supposed to be. But he was trained to use his lightsaber, but yet she was able to fend him off. No, it's not believable to me. Like, yeah, she did okay with a staff, but a staff is not a sword. Completely different.
Are you disappointed with the way they left her in Rise of Skywalker?
Yes,
with what they did with her.
Okay. Absolutely, she's not a Skywalker. I hated the whole fucking Palpatine family lineage. That was just
it didn't make sense. Yeah,
that was dumb. That was totally dumb.
I felt like, and I've talked to Jason about this before, that I felt like everything was forced in Rise of Skywalker. Nothing just kind of happened together. Like everything was just, and honestly, I think the Falcon should have went down in a blaze of glory. I would have cried my eyes off. But
no, I disagree with you on that.
Well,
and I will disagree forever on you. Shut up! Don't make me fucking boot you. I'll boot you from the podcast. Don't say it again. Don't say it again.
It hurts when I say it. Believe me, it hurts.
Don't say it again.
Say it.
I'm right on the delete button. You're fucking gone. It'll just be me and Lou, and we'll make fun of you the rest of the show.
Just imagine, though, what would have happened in that theater.
No, I don't think. I agree with you that it was forced, and the reason being because the previous guy from The Last Jedi fucked everything up, changed everything so that Abrams came in and said, "Oh, well, I'm going to fuck the other guy, fuck all his shit up that he did, and just do whatever I want, and then blow his storyline out."
Right.
Totally ridiculous. I think it was childish for both of them to do that.
I agree.
And I think they fucked the fans. That's what they did. They fucked the fans. And
it was definitely disappointing making her a Palpatine in that movie, because it really there's no reason why. Why?
That was dumb. That was totally dumb. I see your
and then they left it. I mean, listen, it was cool. She went to Tatooine. She buried the lightsaber. She stood on the hill that you like.
Why?
And it was. I mean, it was cool to see that the little fan service at the end. But why? Like, why is she there?
What was the fan service?
Well, I mean, it brought you back to New Hope with Luke standing on the hill, and that's the end of it. It starts here and it ends here. You know,
you don't bury the fucking lightsaber.
Well, that's what I understand. Like, why? So, what's going to happen with Rey now? Like, she's on Tatooine. She buries a lightsaber at the farm. Now what? Like, what are you going to do now?
Yeah. Now what?
You like they just let her die.
Planet, now you're going to go back to a desert planet and just sit there and be a farmer?
Yeah, exactly. Are you going to go into isolation? You know,
that's not fan service. That's not a happy ending.
Well, the end of the dual moon or the dual
end
sun.
of the Jedi, the end of the Force, whatever. I mean, and the only thing that I liked about The Last Jedi is that the kid at the end.
Oh yeah.
Which went nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Nowhere. Where he grabs a broom, you mean, when he's sweeping up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Yeah. JJ actually had a plan to explain the Palpatine storyline, but okay.
I remember he passed it on to
Ryan, and Ryan
ignored it. Well,
that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, that's it's still. I still don't like it. I still don't like it. It doesn't. Because it's so close when you start thinking about there's only so much we can ignore as nerds.
I agree.
But when you look at it and say, okay, well, at the end of the original trilogy, everyone should be kind of settling down. You know, whoever's going to become a couple, Han and Leia, will become a couple. They'll have children. And then it goes on to the next generation.
Right.
We're in the next generation, but they skipped it. They skipped it for Rey because they retconned her into being a grandchild. And we didn't even we saw the young parents show up of Rey. And it just doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit, no.
It really pissed me off. I mean,
it just shows you they had ideas to go somewhere and then they decided not to.
Yeah.
Well, what were they trying to accomplish with the kid with the broom? Were they just trying to say that you don't have to be part of the Skywalkers to be Force sensitive? Like, what's the point of that? Like, what was the point of that kid with the broom?
Right. Like,
you know, he had the rebel ring on and all that. Like, I just don't like. What's the point? What were they trying to accomplish? Because you're right, they just left it. It didn't do anything.
Yeah, you know that was a big plot hole, and I wanted to see. Like, we left that movie thinking, oh shit, you know, this kid's got Force powers. He's gonna show up in the next film.
Right.
Well, I think that's why they leave some of this stuff open. They created a path, and then figure out if they need it later. Or if there's something to go with for them to come back and say, remember, we brought it up here in this movie. So I think that's
and that's what I think that they're doing with these TV series is that they're just, you know, like he said, like if there's a storyline that never really got fully explained in one of the movies, they just go in, swoop in, make a 30-minute episode about it, and just mention one or two things about it, and it's done, and everybody's happy. And I think that's what they're going to be doing.
I like it. I like it better when it's like when it's an offshoot. When it's like, okay, part of the crawl, the opening crawl, or you know, something that happens in the background, but doesn't really impact the story.
Right.
When you have an ending right before the credits, where you see a kid force pull a broom. And you're thinking, oh, shit. And he raises the broom like a lightsaber. I mean, you can't escape that image.
Yeah.
You expect something in the next film.
Right.
If you're going to do that and say, oh, well, we're just going to explore it in a series, I think you're screwing the fan.
I think what they're doing now is because I think they realize that these movies people are not receptive to these movies anymore. But they're more receptive to Jedi the musical.
we can rewatch the Christmas special.
Oh my God! Is that with the Wookiees?
Oh
my God!
Carrie Fisher singing. Oh,
I agree, Bob. Give Jon Favreau the helm and let him go with it.
Yeah,
I still think their appearance on the Muppet Show was the best.
Who? Hamill. Yeah, the Star Wars. Oh my God, that was classic.
Oh, God.
Listen, I'm perfectly fine with what they're doing right now, you know, and if they can get the movies right, because aside from The Force Awakens, which I loved, The Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi just fell flat for me, you know.
Yeah.
So
horses riding on Death Star or on Star Destroyers just doesn't do it for me.
So who's your worst? What character do you hate the most outside of Jar Jar Binks? Out of the whole thing.
From start to finish?
Start to finish, who's the worst character you hate? Not Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, God.
Outside of Jar Jar.
Outside of Jar Jar, the worst character.
That you hate.
Do I hate or did I just seem pointless?
Hate, pointless, whatever.
All right. What about that creature that came out of the water in Solo? That was talking at the very beginning and he threw the rock. Remember, he's like, that's a rock. That's not a thermal detonator. You know, remember how he was talking? You know, and she had all that jewelry on. Like,
Solo is such I enjoyed the movie, but it's such like an offshoot where you almost forget it, like the Ewok Adventure.
Yeah. A creature or character that I hate.
Like, for example, for me, one of the ones I hated, although I like to watch, but I still hated it, was Kylo.
Kylo Ren?
I just hated his temper tantrums. I understood his point, but I hated all those temper tantrums. His mask didn't instill fear, I thought they wanted to do so much more with him, but they just couldn't pin what they could do with him, and so they involved him into a little love story. They involved him more temper tantrum. They involved him that he wanted to be in charge of everything, and I just no. I get him, but I just didn't like the way he should have been one solid thing, you know.
I think the problem is that they were competing with the memory of Vader.
Yeah.
And Vader is literally the all-time favorite villain. Seriously. Right. I mean, and you're dealing with someone that conveyed emotion without facial expressions.
Right.
Which is another big credit I give the Mandalorian, because I mean, he was phenomenal expressing emotions without facial expressions.
Even just like he would just look.
Yeah.
Like his head would turn and then just come back, you know, like, yeah.
And
I
you
just
sat
think
there.
they should have never taken the helmet off of Kylo. They should just either keep it on or take it off. And I think when they took it off, I think to a certain extent it took away from that character to a certain extent.
I think they should have had a different helmet and a different character or different actor.
Yeah, like he shouldn't have fixed the helmet in Rise of Skywalker, like welded it back together like that.
Yeah.
Dumb. That was just dumb.
I mean, when he took the helmet off in A Force Awakens, I laughed.
I didn't know what to expect. Yeah,
I was like,
especially when like the nose popped out first, and I'm like, what the
it was like, really? That's your villain?
Yeah,
I'm not afraid of him.
No, I agree.
You got to be kidding me.
That's definitely a good point, Lou. I can definitely see that. He's still not my. I don't hate Kylo because he was the only villain you really had. Snoke, that's possible. I love his temper tantrums. Yeah. I don't know. How about you? I don't know. I don't know if there's. I can't think. Of
I would definitely go with Snoke. I think because I think he was the most useless character.
Yeah.
In the entire series, if we're not including Jar Jar. Because
there's some people who would say they hate the new Luke versus the old one, where the old one seemed he was a lot braver. He, would actually go off and fight, whereas this new Luke seems to just want to hide and not get involved and stay on this little island on this little planet all by himself.
I blame that on the writers.
No, but but we're not talking the writers. We're just saying how they were portrayed, So there's some people who have heard, I wish Luke had stayed how he was in the previous 3 compared to how he now is.
I definitely would have liked to seen a different path, whereas because somebody brought it up earlier, I don't know, today or yesterday, I forget who said it, but talking about Luke Skywalker, a character that risked everything, literally everything, to save and redeem his father, I do not think would consider murder on a whim.
Right.
Because that's what it came down with Ben Solo. He saw the dark side and he immediately ignited his lightsaber to end him. That's out of character. That's completely out of character for him. And I would have loved to have seen him rebuild the Jedi Temple and Jedi Order.
Yeah.
With more of a gray Jedi philosophy rather than, the just resurrecting the old shit that obviously didn't work. But I would have liked to seen that more than, Luke just fucking giving up, doing something out of character, then giving up and hiding. Okay. And making everyone else try to find him, because what did he do? He didn't do anything. I mean, he had his little moment when he did the force projection, but big fucking deal.
Yeah. Well, he caught what's her name's lightsaber before she threw it away into the fire.
Yeah, that's great, because that's what.
And he pulled his X-wing out of the water. Finally.
Totally fan service. There's no other reason but fan service on that.
I've been thinking about this. Can I hate a character? I I can't stand Leia in the sequels.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I like Leia in New Hope through Jedi. I can't stand her in The Force Awakens. I can't stand her in any of the other prequels, the sequels.
She was much too placid. She was much too calm and diplomatic.
And she just had like all of these like dumb one-liners, like "Don't say the Death Star," you know what I mean? Or like it was just, and she was trying to be like this figure of like, I don't know, like I just never pictured her as a general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know she's a general in this, but even in Return of the Jedi, when she was General Leia, she didn't have that. Like she wasn't like the big shit. You know what I mean? She still got, taken over by the Ewoks, and I just didn't buy her character in the sequel.
It wasn't the Leia we were used to.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Leia was always like, "I'll take the fucking gun. I'll go. I'm gonna run ahead. This is the plan. If you're not following me, oh well, I'm going anyway."
That's right. Yep.
And this, it was like, oh, let me put on my nice fancy robes and just stand here.
Yeah, she didn't do anything. She just stood there and just talked. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I wanted to see more. I wanted to see more. Like, if we get this little fan service in the Rise of Skywalker, where we find out that she trained with Luke.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
I know.
I want to see more of that. Where's her fucking lightsaber?
That's what I want to see. Yeah.
Where did it come from? It should be there with her.
So again, that could be the story that they could tell going forward with Luke 5 years now past Jedi, because they do have what's her name? Leia's daughter, Bobby, whatever her name is.
Oh yeah.
So they do. Is that her name? So they have her, and they have Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
So they could start telling that story now of Leia trying to train and what happens in, that whole, old lady Leia. Exactly.
Elizabeth, this will always be Leia.
Yes, it will.
Right here.
What are you pointing at?
Leia.
So here's a little trivia question. Let's see if either of you two know this.
Oh shit.
Here we go. We'll even let give it a few more seconds to see if anybody in the chat room knows it. So Darth Vader's chest piece has some writing on it. What language is it in, and what does it translate to?
Well, there's the common Star Wars universe language.
No, it's a real language. I'll give you the hint on that.
It's a real language.
Yeah.
Like from not
ours.
Really?
Yeah. So I'll read the question again. Darth Vader's chest piece has some writing on it. What language is it in? And it's one of our real languages. And what does it translate to?
Thank God Lou didn't work with us back in Thompson, because he would be no fun at this game.
It was Hebrew.
Cheater.
See, my hands are right here. I wasn't Googling it.
Fuck yeah.
I'm trying to think, where was it written?
Right above
on there. Oh, really?
Right. Well, right below the buttons.
Hebrew. And what did it say?
Let's see.
It says, in Hebrew, it translates to, his deeds will not be forgiven until he merits.
Really?
Yeah.
It's actually kind of cool. I never knew that. That is kind of neat.
I figured you'd like that.
I do like that.
Let me see here. So I see it. I see the picture of it close up. And I'm looking at it. What's it say? Oh. There was different translations. His deeds, will not be forgiven until he merits.
Where is the? Oh yeah, look at that.
Look at that shit.
Huh. Show it to everybody, damn it.
Well, it doesn't. It's just text. I mean, there's nothing really to show.
Oh, I thought you were looking at a picture or something.
Control panel from part 5 and part 6 bore Hebrew lettering. So it wasn't in the original one.
Oh, so it was just the first two.
Yeah.
Empire and Jedi.
Yeah. Hebrew lettering that can be translated as his deeds will not be forgiven until he merits, which is pretty cool.
That is neat.
I like that.
His deeds will not be forgiven.
Yeah.
All right, good job,
Interesting. Very cool. That's good trivia, Lou.
Yeah.
Of course.
Nice.
Even though you had to look it up first. You're supposed to know these things if you're going to ask us.
Hey, sometimes there's some stuff that you find out that's interesting.
He's a Trekkie. He doesn't.
I know.
I'm both. So.
Oh my God. So we're at 2 hours.
Oh my
God. We gotta do the.
We still have people that are watching, dude.
Hey.
Oh my God.
We still gotta do the Christmas list.
All right. So why don't? All right. I'll put that up. Oh my God.
Here we go.
Oh my God!
This is what you know it's for, Joe.
So every time we did a holiday special on Geeks and Ghosts, Lou had to put up this fucking list. So I'm gonna put it up for us so we can look. Is this all? Oh my! Oh God! Damn.
And we will talk about these.
We're gonna talk about it. So here we go. Let me see if I got this right. Okay, there we go. All right. So,
oh my God, I remember this.
Bizarre vintage holiday recipes are best left to the ghost of Christmas past. Let's see. Tuna Christmas tree with parsley tinsel. Let me see if I can blow this up.
Can I blow it up.
I don't know if I can. There we go. A little bit. Let me get this out of here. Oh my God, that's gross.
That's awesome.
That's,
oh my God.
That's just a big pile of tuna.
Oh,
it's a big pile of tuna with parsley. That's not too bad.
Would you serve this though?
Compared to what we usually have, this is not too bad. All right. So next up, Christmas candle salad, cherry and banana mold.
I'm gonna make that one.
That looks like Jello. Oh, it's cherry Jello.
Like cherry Jello and then pieces of banana.
And a banana. It looks like fucking penises. Ah. Shrimp Christmas tree.
This one Joe would love.
What?
Joe would love this.
You would love a shrimp Christmas tree.
A shrimp Christmas tree.
That's a shrimp. That's what it looks like. A big cactus.
A big cactus with shrimp sticking on it.
Shrimp.
Oh my God.
These are all shrimp.
And they're hanging on a toothpick with an olive at the end of it.
Oh. You and your fucking recipe.
Better.
Oh, holiday meat tree.
Oh, there you go. Now we're talking.
Meat tree.
Now we're talking. A meat tree.
Don't wait for a holiday. This buffet for you.
Oh my God.
1 long loaf.
And here's the recipe, Donna.
Bread, 2 pounds assorted cold sliced meats, 1 bunched leaf lettuce, stuffed olives, radishes, toothpicks. There you go. It's just a bunch of meat. That's what Lou loves.
That's
just a
perfect.
bunch of meat.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
That's frozen fruit cake salad. There you go.
There you go.
Cake salad. Oh my God.
Oh, what is that made of? Full of crushed pineapple, bananas, nuts, both red and green candied cherries to make the salad especially festive, decorative. Decorate the salad top with a plate with salad greens and additional candied cherries. Ew.
But what's all the white crap? Like what's it all? What's the what's
mayonnaise? Mayonnaise.
Oh God.
Sorry. What is it, Lou?
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. It's mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Not mayonnaise. It's mayonnaise.
Shut up.
We probably say it wrong, Kenny.
I like that. Shrimp. You got a shrimp cocktail. You got shrimp loaf.
Shrimp and potatoes.
Shrimp potatoes. Shrimp cauliflower.
Noel glazed ham.
Mayo mayo is glazed on top of that too.
It doesn't say what's in it.
Well, the ham's inside of it. Yeah, but what's on the outside?
Yeah, but what's this white shit around it?
Mayo?
Mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise. Seafoods. Still meadow and lime cottage cheese ring.
What the hell?
2 essential parts. Still meadow is the mysterious white stew. If you're wondering, we'll stick with the. Oh, it doesn't even tell you what's in it.
Oh,
you really want to know?
This is disgusting. Turkey fruit salad.
So actually, I bet if this has cranberries in it, I bet that's pretty good. Oh God, I can't see that shit.
Oh wait. Pour into 1.5 quart bowl. Chill until 1 hour. Oh wait. Okay, here it is. Chopped cooked turkey, 1 cup chopped apple, 1 cup of chopped diamond walnuts.
All right.
1 cup seedless grapes, 1 cup of pineapple tidbits, and 1.5 cups of real mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
You got mayonnaise with your shrimp.
Yeah, I love it.
Do ahead cranberry souffle salad.
Yep. Oh,
why does that look like from the 60s?
Because that's what Lou likes.
Yeah,
that's the great stuff. Remember, we did a whole show on that gelatin crap.
Pink gelatin. He did a whole list where every food was encased in gelatin.
Oh God!
And it's not like flavored. It was that clear, non-flavored, just gelatin shit that you're like, you know, when you go to the beach and you see like the remains of a jellyfish.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like.
Oh God!
Disgusting.
It was great stuff.
What is this stuff? Heavy duty or broiling foil, cranberries, unflavored gelatin. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
This is all gelatin.
Oh,
unflavored. God. Ugh. Is that it? Sugar plums. I don't know what sugar plums are. If we were
I think it's just bags of like frosting mix. So you just put different color frosting. Yeah, so they're like hanging on your tree, like you just yep, that's it. Yeah. Bags of frosting wads.
Christmas bell fluff.
Oh, rice.
Rice makes scrumptious holiday fare. Beautiful. Say soften envelope. Wait, Christmas bell fluff. Soften envelope unflavored gelatin. There you go with the gelatin. Gelatin and water. 1 egg, sugar, milk, cooked rice. Ew. Oh. Eggs, gelatin, rice.
That's awesome.
Oh my God.
Fucking Porkins lived off of this.
That's why you snow cap spread. This doesn't look too bad.
Handy ham
adds festive touch. It's a pleasure island on party buffet. Oh.
Ooh.
Deviled ham with 1 tablespoon minced onion. All right, so it doesn't look too bad. It looks like a ham with some kind of frosting on top.
Yeah. Mayonnaise.
Blushing bowl.
What is it?
Mistletoe. Fix California dip. Then add 1/2 cup of ketchup and 1/2 cup or 1/2 teaspoon of horseradish. Gay, hey? Gay, hey? I don't know what this is.
I don't either. It's just like a dip, I guess.
It's just a dip. It's a chip dip. A tutti frutti date pudding. Oh,
God.
This looks X-rated.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm surprised we have anyone watching now.
Oh yeah, they all left. As soon as we stopped talking Star Wars, they're like, all right, we're done.
It doesn't say anything about this.
If you look at that loaf that's under it, that's cornflakes.
Oh, is it?
These, yeah. It looks
what's that, like a pimento loaf?
Yeah.
Ew.
It doesn't say anything about it.
No, it's cornflakes because I've seen on another recipe.
Oh my God.
And that's it. That's the end of our list.
Ugh.
That was disgusting.
That was disgusting.
You should put it on your table.
Well, I'm not hungry anymore, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I lost 5 pounds just in that segment.
Yep.
Oh, unbelievable.
Well, guys,
yeah, Bob, we know exactly what they're saying.
Oh,
your wife's still watching. Donna's still watching.
Like, thank God this is over. Throw up.
Yeah,
Bob, this is not the worst. Honestly, we've had so much worse.
I think the gelatin one really takes the cake.
You had a gelatin list that was just. It looked like it just like it was like a cube of slime, and just every picture was just something different floating inside of it. Just disgusting.
Oh. There was one where they had the shrimp floating inside it, and they added a green food coloring to the gelatin, so it was shrimp suspended in the middle, inside, whatever. But it was a mess. There's just no way.
I agree, Donna. I agree.
So
there was actually a worse list that I could have sent Kenny for this one, but that one didn't have descriptions. And I was like, damn.
This didn't have descriptions.
Damn. No, that one was absolutely just pictures.
So Star Wars series coming up. We have Ahsoka. We have Obi-Wan.
Yes. Is that this year? Is that 2021? Or we gotta wait? Or we gotta wait forever for that one?
Let's see.
Obi-Wan. When's that one?
I mean, while I'm waiting, while I'm looking for this, what do you think about the announcement that Hayden Christensen is coming back as Darth Vader?
So I'm wondering why he needs to come back.
Because he's a better actor now.
Yeah, but was he the actor in? Did he play Rogue One? Was he in the costume?
No.
So unless you're going to see him, why have him in it? Like, what's the point of bringing him in it?
So
maybe he's going to be part of the Boba Fett nonsense.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you're not going to see his face, if he's just going to be in costume, and obviously James Earl Jones is the voice, why bring him in it?
Maybe you will see.
That's a good point.
Or will we see him take the thing off to get into the back of the tank, kind of like what he did in Rogue One? Like, will we see that kind of stuff? But
we didn't even see him then. Like,
we saw his.
We saw a figure.
We didn't see him, right? But I'm saying,
because I tried. Like a lot of nerds tried. We tried. I freeze framed it, went frame by frame to see if I could see.
Nope.
But no. There's. You're right. I think
that's a good point, though. Flashbacks, maybe. I don't know. Because there really is no reason.
I think you're going to see him go on and off with the helmet, and whatever they're going to work with. I think he's going to be at the point that he doesn't need to have the mask on or the helmet on to survive. It's just going to be one of those he just walks around off and on as he pleases. I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
That would kill what we know.
That would kill everything we know. Yeah, I think you're going to see him like when Rogue One came out, and we're like, how badass was he in Rogue One at the end? But then when he gets on to the Princess Leia ship, he wasn't able to do what he did in the end of Rogue One.
Right.
Like, where's the continuity? And they said because of his weakened state of being battle scarred from Obi-Wan, that like he needs those back to tanks to help him like heal.
Recharge.
More or less recharge. Yeah.
Like he's good to go for like 5 minutes, which was the whole the kill box scene. Like that was his 5 minutes where he was good, and then he's spent. He needs to go recharge. But I mean, I do get the idea of maybe like flashbacks. I think would be better because, as you said, Joe, like, what's the point?
Yeah,
Darth Vader is behind a mask.
Right.
We have a mask. We have a voice. We don't need the original actor that played the human form of the character. We don't need him. So
unless there's here's the thing. The Obi-Wan series is going to take place when? It's going to be in between Sith and New Hope, correct?
Let's see.
So remember, we were talking the other day about maybe there's a battle that we don't know about. So,
right,
Obi-Wan. How does Obi-Wan Kenobi find out that he is Darth Vader?
A gift card.
What? A gift card, an email.
So what I see
Send him a selfie.
What I see here is that the show Obi-Wan is set 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
And 9 years before A New Hope.
9 years before New Hope?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm wondering is he going to, maybe he's going to like reveal himself to Obi-Wan, like Obi-Wan doesn't know.
Is he gonna be
Anakin,
nude?
Huh?
You said he's gonna reveal himself. Is he gonna be nude?
I hope not.
Here we go.
I am just wondering if there's going to be some type of like listen, Obi-Wan's been living on Tatooine as a hermit, right? He had to find out somehow that Anakin turned into Vader, correct?
Yes.
So maybe that's part of the story that we're going to see is how, and that's why we need Hayden Christensen. Like he shows up on Tatooine or wherever Obi-Wan is now, and he's like, Obi-Wan's like, who the fuck is this guy? And then he takes his helmet off, and it's Anakin.
That would be good if it's. What's I think it would be good for like one show. Not
well, it's only going to be a 6-series show, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's only 6 episodes.
I mean, well, 6 episodes until they see how popular it is,
right?
And then then it'll go on. But we're talking, it would be cool to, because we did discuss there's a lot of loopholes.
Yeah.
So I mean, like in A New Hope, when the first time Vader senses him,
right,
he has this line where he's like, "I felt the presence that I haven't felt since." And he trails off.
Right.
So you don't know. That doesn't mean their battle at Mustafar.
Right.
That means something, but we don't know when.
Right.
And it could be a later battle that happened. And it would be nice to see them to come together again for a battle, but neither one of them is going to win.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Just to have that, like, oh, I sense a presence here. And then you see Vader come in, and maybe Obi-Wan's like, kind of looking like, I sense the presence of my old Padawan, but what are you? And then, if he takes the helmet off and reveals himself and says, it's me.
It's me.
And puts it back on.
Right.
And it goes from there. Then, that would be cool. That would be kind of cool. Even
that's the only reason why I think he would come back. I can't think of another reason why they would put him in there.
It'll be a wait and see.
Yeah. Well, I think it comes out this year, though. How would he be? Well, I mean, he was deformed.
It looks like it's going to be the end of 2021 and beginning of 2022. So it's still a while yet.
Yeah.
We have a while.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
we have a lot of speculating to do.
Yeah. It's enough for nerds to get crazy, but like Ahsoka series that's going to come out. We also have I don't know. I didn't check up on the latest on the other trilogy that is
the old Republic one. Yeah. I think that's a couple. I think I saw the first one was 2023. That was the first one I saw.
Yeah.
That'll be. I mean, listen, they're going to get my money no matter what. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, because we're suckers for that.
Well, of course, you're so dead. I'm just like Marvel. Anything Marvel does, I'm giving them. DC.
Well, I'm already signed up for the HBO Max, so
I get it for free.
Yeah.
I get it for free. Yeah. So, I'll watch Wonder Woman on Christmas. That's our day. That's our Christmas day. We're going to watch Wonder Woman.
I'm not even talking about that. I mean,
the Snyder Cut.
The Snyder Cut. Yeah. We're definitely.
Is it real? Is it? Are we ever going to see it?
Yeah, it's already in the works. It's already, it's coming, dude. It's coming.
What did Bob just say?
The last I heard was that it's a 4-part.
I did too.
Miniseries. So we're talking. We're probably going to have about 8 hours instead of a 2-hour movie. Which
I hope they can fix it because they screwed that up big time. They screwed up Justice League big time. So.
Oh yeah, totally fucked that up. I really think DC should have gone the way of Marvel and just developed the characters first before they brought them together and
absolutely
fight together.
Yep.
You know, because it was
especially the ones that you don't know anything about. Like there's no movies of Cyborg or any of those
Flash.
guys. And the Flash. Although let me tell you something, that Flash movie coming out. If what I'm hearing is true, and we're going to see Michael Keaton in that, I'll lose my shit.
That would be interesting if they do a Flashpoint. Yeah. Flashpoint movie.
Like it's going to be like the multiverse in Marvel, you know. But DC does not have my money right now. Marvel and Star Wars do. So
right.
I'll always give DC a chance. I don't, I'm hoping they pull something out that surprises people every once in a while.
I mean, I'm my first love is DC. So I mean, I can't help it, dude. I'm DC. I'm a Superman guy. So I still liked Man of Steel. I thought they could have done better with it, but I did like the whole more grounding and kind of subtle approach.
No, I do like. Yeah,
I thought they fucked up going with Batman versus Superman. I thought they totally fucked that up. And then going straight into a Justice League movie.
Yeah.
With the only character, I mean, that Batman, Ben Affleck, which I'm still on the fence. I didn't think he did a bad job.
I don't think he did a bad job.
But he was not established.
No.
Yeah, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't great.
We were used to Christian Bale.
Yeah.
You know,
and Christian Bale, I like. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we get this older Batman, which is not in the continuity of the Justice League. It's like he's old. He's older and old. Like, no, that's not what I wanted. And we didn't establish the characters. We didn't have the Aquaman movie until after the Justice League.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like they did it like half. Like they figured, let me try it our way. And I didn't like the Aquaman. I mean, I didn't like the Aquaman movie. I just don't. It just didn't look right. You know.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman did save the franchise. Donna's right. She does rock.
But they didn't capitalize it. They said it. I get it. They said it in an era like Captain America. I mean, they did the old school thing, but then our sequel takes place in the 80s.
That's exactly. I don't understand how this is going to happen. That's why. That's the only thing I'm curious about is how that's going to happen.
How do you not know about her?
Yeah,
I mean, she's
walking around in a bikini. Come on.
I mean, granted, in the Wonder Woman movie, when she saves the village does get wiped out.
Yeah.
So most of the witnesses of what she did wiped out. No one's alive. So I get how she can go into hiding, but then to come out in 1984 and just jump into like saving people in a fucking mall. You don't save people in a fucking mall. And I don't care if you're muted, dumbass. You're muted, dumbass. You're muted, dumbass. There you go.
I had to take my headphones out. They died. I even feel like her movie jumped around a lot too.
Yeah.
It went way back in time. It was just too, but it still was a great movie.
Right. But, it still should have come out before Justice League.
Yes.
Justice League should have never came out.
No, I agree.
Not never, but not yet.
Yeah. I mean, just think about the Avengers movie, Hulk you know, was obviously just whatever. But you know, they had 2 Iron Man movies. Yeah, they established some characters. They brought them all together. You know, it was just perfect. You know,
and even like they had Iron Man, they had Thor, they had Captain America. They all established their backstories. Black Widow was established in Iron Man.
Yeah. The second one, right? Yeah.
You brought all these people together after they're already established. Hawkeye was still, he didn't get too established, but he was there in Thor, so he was there. All the characters were present. Fucking DC, the Flash isn't even named.
No, I know.
So he's out. Cyborg, really disappointed in how they treated him because
he shouldn't have been in there in the first place.
No,
he's got a lot of backstory.
He should have never been in there in the first place. He shouldn't have been included.
And even just the whole thing about bringing Superman back to life and with the mother box. I mean, for Christ's sake,
that was the Superman thing pissed me off because we saw at the end of Man of Steel.
Yeah,
we saw the dirt rise up, and it's like, oh, he's not dead.
Right.
There's something else. But they went the cheap way. To bring him back, and it just sucks. The other thing I can't stand about DC is just how many restarts of the Batman movies there have been. I can't watch Batman. I hear you, dude.
Yeah, I don't even want to watch this new Batman coming out or the Joker. I mean, the Joker was fine. The Joker was like a standalone movie. You know, like that's all.
Well, it's a different timeline. It doesn't run concurrent with the Batman that we know and the Joker.
Right. It's like completely different. Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, because Jared Leto is a different one, and then you got what's her name, the chick, Birds of Prey, whatever her name is. The one from Suicide Squad.
Oh my God! Why am I getting a brain fart?
Because it's DC.
Harley?
Who?
Harley Quinn. Yeah. But it's just.
Yeah.
I
know. Like Batman vs Superman. Like I was so excited for that to come out.
Which one?
Batman vs Superman.
Oh.
And then when it came out, and it showed some potential. I liked how they flashed back into the Man of Steel, and it was showing that it was Wayne Tower that fell. Like all that kind of little tie-in stuff. But then, like when he's about to kill him, he goes Martha, and I'm like, oh God. We're talking about years of hate, and then he says one word, and they're like, "I'll never let you down." You know,
you don't say that. No. I would never call my mother by her first fucking name.
It was just.
Are you sleeping with my mother?
Yeah, it was just so bad. It was so bad because it was like, you know, the whole movie was him hating on him, and then he says one name, and now they're buddies.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Now I'm gonna save you.
Yeah.
And
again,
best friends.
Yeah, just everything was forced. So, but we should have a Marvel versus DC show one time.
Oh,
you know, once the Marvel shows get going next year, you know.
Yeah.
Do you guys watch that Cobra Kai?
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah.
How fucking great is that, dude? I'm telling you right now, Johnny Lawrence is probably my favorite character on TV right now. I literally love everything. I could care less about Danny LaRusso, but fucking Johnny Lawrence.
But you know what? Like this is what I was talking about earlier. Like showing the perspective from the other side.
Yes, exactly.
This is the perfect example.
That's what it was. And that tell me, Cobra Kai is not a show made up of complete misunderstandings.
Yes.
Yes. The whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing.
And like in any horror movie, it's always the kids that make things worse.
Yeah.
This is you watch total, like Karate Kid, the original. You watch the original movie, and you're like, fucking, oh my God, Daniel is like picked on.
Yeah.
That poor kid.
Yeah.
And Johnny is just he's the bully.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai, I'm like, go Johnny.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate Daniel.
Yeah. All he's doing is he's trying to restart his dojo. He's trying to get back into life. And then here's Danny LaRusso, who's got this big car dealer now, and he's like a successful guy. And there's actually a video on YouTube, I'm sure you've seen it, where it's a guy talking about how Danny LaRusso is the villain in The Karate Kid. He's the instigator. And it's like 10 minutes long, but it's a really good video.
Yeah. I've seen that video.
Yeah, it's great.
We did it on one of the shows a long time ago.
Yeah. But yeah, Cobra Kai, man, that comes out in 2 weeks. That's good. So I'll get that out of the way. And then WandaVision starts, and then the Falcon and Winter Soldier starts, and then we're rolling.
You know, about Cobra Kai that really, really gets me is that Ralph Macchio is just not in shape to do any of those things. And even when, like, there's that, I think season 2, when there's that scene at the beach, where like he jumps in, he does the whole Mr. Miyagi thing, right? It's his student, Johnny's son, is getting beat up, and he jumps in, and beats up. That's not even him.
I know.
And I was like, it's so incredibly obvious that it's not him.
Right.
And it pisses me off because even in the car dealer, so when Ralph Macchio or Daniel goes to the rival car dealer and he does a little spin kick to hit the slushy out.
Yeah.
I was like, that is so pitiful.
I know.
Pitiful. I would laugh at you if you did that kick to me.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. I think the one thing that restarted the whole anger between Daniel and everybody else was when what's his name went back to the shop about his car. Remember? He was and they hadn't seen each other in years.
Right.
And what's the first thing that happened instead of, hey, how you been? It's more, this is the guy that you told us about there, or that I beat up.
He's like, they're like talking shit. Yeah.
And I'm like, this right here is what's gonna cause all that anger. It's not gonna make it's not gonna calm anything down. It's just going to make everything blow up even more.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
And the show's corny. The acting's corny.
Yes.
But that's what makes it so good.
What drives the plot is misunderstandings.
Yes.
Everyone misunderstands everything.
Yeah. I say it to Chrissy, I'm like, they think that they're going a certain way and everything, and then all of a sudden he's like, just when I think, I'm like, yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's great. I can't wait. I'm actually going to rewatch them. The one thing I did not like about the final episode was the fight in the school.
Yeah.
Where the fuck were all the teachers? Like,
nobody cared.
Fighting for like 20 minutes, and there was one adult. Like, where are they?
One teacher.
I'm the same thing, but think about it. You have a bunch of kids fighting everywhere.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, you have a crowd of kids watching.
Yeah.
So, if there's any teachers trying to, the ones who are trying to stop it, the ones who are trying to get to the fights and stop it, and these schools are already overcrowded anyway. Yeah. So I could, to a certain extent, think one of these fights gets out of the way.
You're not jacking someone up against a locker. You're literally beating the balls and kicking. Like, come on.
You're having a full-on karate match.
Yeah.
And there should be like 20 or 30 teachers in that school, at least. And we saw one that was like, oh, fuck no.
Yeah. And
there is a teacher crisis anyway.
Right? This takes place out in California?
Yeah, in Simi Valley.
There's fucking security guards out there. All you fuckers out there. You can't go to school without that shit.
Yeah.
Well, Simi Valley is different from, other schools in LA that are closer to, like, let's say, for example, Compton or more Hispanic areas. You have in those schools, there's actually more security than what they would have in Simi Valley. Simi Valley, it's mostly, the majority, it's all uppity whites, uppity, minorities or Asians. So you're not really going to get the same security that you would say get to a school where I went to. So big difference.
All right, last show I'll ask you guys about before the night's over. Did you watch The Fucking Boys?
Yes.
I'm not all the way through the season.
Oh, well, there's 2 seasons.
Yeah.
There's a 3rd one coming out this year. Lou, how great is that show? The Boys.
I love it.
Oh,
it's
you probably like Simon Pegg, right?
Huh?
You probably like Simon Pegg because he's your Trekkie boy. He's the boy.
I mean, it's a great show. I
couldn't believe it. Like, I'm like watching the show and I'm like, holy shit, is this really happening? Like, I can't believe it. Like, you're not even past the first season yet?
I'm done the first season. I'm halfway through the second season.
Okay. Yeah.
What about the Umbrella Academy?
What's that?
What about the Umbrella Academy?
So is that worth watching?
Well, that one's pretty good. It's a bunch of guys trying to work together.
Yeah.
And they just all have certain angers against each other.
It's
they were
family.
You know, yeah, they're all family, but they were all adopted. So they all have issues against each other.
They're all adopted. I watched that one. I watched the Umbrella Academy through.
Yeah.
And both seasons. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the family drama, like, all right, I can get over it. But then it actually got better, a little bit better.
Yeah, okay.
Well, the first one, they're throwing them all together. They haven't been with each other, for years. There's all issues. Then the second season is, okay, we have a purpose. I know we don't always agree, but we need to try to make this work. And that's what's interesting there, is trying to throw a whole group of people who've never really been in sync or ever actually worked together as one to make them be that unit. So that's why I think it's interesting. It gets frustrating at times because you're, just like in Cobra Kai, is like misunderstandings. Get over it. Work on it. And
yeah, so I try. I didn't want to start another series because I feel like I got a lot coming up, but maybe I'll give it a try.
Yeah, you should.
I always have a problem when they mess with time. Yeah. When they have something where time travel is not only
they just fucked it up wrong.
Not only in the story, but it's part of the whole plot. I always have a problem with that because then it gets fucked up and it's like, all right, shit. Now I start thinking, because that brings the science in, and I'm like, wait, no, they already did this in this timeline. No, they can't do that now.
Thank God you're having your Mary Poppins moment.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right. Well,
all right. We should close this out because it's late.
Oh my God.
It's late for two of us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Was it 7:30 over there?
8:30.
8:30. That's not bad. Yeah.
All right. Well,
we gotta fix Joe's lighting. We gotta fix your lighting next time.
Yeah, I know. I just had this I got to get something up here, so I'll get it.
We just got to soften it just a little bit.
I'll start decorating.
Like right there, you're good.
Yeah, but
when you come close, then you get washed out.
I was close to reading your shit. I can't read it.
You become super white.
Get glasses, you old fucking man.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm trying to do. I'm trying.
That's what these are just reading glasses.
I know. I keep telling him, I'm like avoiding it. Like my phone, like the print on my phone is so freaking big. Like when I send like a text to my brother, like a screenshot, he's like, "Oh, nice print there, old man." Like, so big.
Yeah. We're getting old.
I know. I'm trying not to think about it, but whatever.
All right. So let's end it up. Good chat. I mean, this was good. 2.5 hours of talking about this shit. And I thank everyone that followed us. I mean, we've had we've had almost 10 viewers throughout the night.
Yeah.
And it's going up and down. So people are coming in and coming out and maybe checking back, but really good. I mean, I'm glad. And for all the conversation that happened, really good conversation and questions. So awesome. We're going to have to do this again.
Yeah. Let's get some of these Marvel series off the ground, see how they go, and then we can do another one.
We got a lot.
Sunday nights are good for me. So,
oh my God, if I add another podcast,
I know.
My wife is going to kill me.
Well, it's crazy because, I don't know anything about your paranormal stuff. I just listen because I just put it on in the car, and I'm like, if you're on, I'm like, okay, I'll listen to it just because I like to, I don't know. I knew you when you weren't famous, so I kind of have that inside.
Still not famous. I'm a Jedi master. I'm not a number 1 Jedi super duper master. So until I get to that rank, then we can talk.
That's great.
But, all right. So that's it. I don't have any outro video for us. I'm just going to end it. So for everyone, thank you for hanging out, and we'll see you next time. I think we're gonna do another show. So
just let me know when. It was fun.
All right. Well, we're gonna do another show. I don't know if I want to invite Joe, but you're a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I'm glad you showed up this time.
I know. Oh, I hit the button and it says your browser is not blah blah blah. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get yelled at.
That's why I do everything 15 minutes beforehand.
I know. I
Send
can't
it out.
Oh, shit.
If there's problems, we can fix it. We have time to fix it. So we started on time. That's all that matters.
Yep.
We've done a lot better than we've done in the past, Lou. Where sometimes we do a whole show and it never recorded or it never broadcasted. So
I've actually gone back on your page and looked at some of your first videos, like when I'm bored and doing nothing. Oh my god. Oh my god. It was like pixelated and like there was like
frozen. We're like choppy.
Yeah. and you were so like now you just kind of flow and like you don't even know that there's people watching, but you're like, and we need to do that, like so robotic, it was funny.
Well, when we first did the show, we were only recording it.
Yeah.
Nothing was live. So it was just me and him talking.
Okay. And you just play it.
And that's it. And then I would, after we were done, I would add the opening, I would add the closing, and then post it. And then that was it. So I like it now. I think because of the pandemic, streaming services have really bumped up their game. And this service, StreamYard, I love it. I've been using it for 6-7 months now.
Yeah, it
works great, and I love the interaction. I can see everything, and I'm. What is that?
It's my notification. Someone just texted
me.
My friends have been texting me this whole time.
I'm slowly getting Donna into we're gonna try and get her as like a producer where she can sit on the side here and actually manage my comments.
Oh, really?
Because when I do some of my solo shows, it's so hard to look at the comments and pay attention to what I'm doing.
So she can bring up stuff as you're neat. It's neat. Yeah, why not?
So we'll see. We'll see how that works out.
Yep, just keep going.
And then So next time maybe we'll with the Marvel series comes out, but there's plenty of other stuff. I mean, we can actually pick up topics. I mean, we have a private chat going. So if either of you guys have a topic and you're like, hey, this might be something to talk about, throw it out.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
And then we can do this again.
Sounds good. Hey, listen, we can recap Cobra Kai in a few weeks.
Yeah, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I got to rewatch.
Get back to us and tell us about Umbrella Academy.
Like the second season, I remember clearly. So I'm going to watch both before it comes out. That way, I'm fresh and ready to go. So, and what's her name?
The Boys.
Freaking finish The Boys. That's good. Season 2 is good. What's her name? Better show up. Allie better show up this year. That's all I have to say.
Allie.
What the girl's name? Fucking Allie from Cobra Kai.
Okay. Yeah.
On the phone. Yeah. She better show up. I mean,
she's in the 3rd season.
Yeah. She better.
Well, yeah, she doesn't. She's not on The Boys anymore. So
yeah.
She's
released from that. She didn't have a rack in The Boys. Yeah. Holy crap!
God.
Oh God. Donnie, you still on?
When I first saw her in Karate Kid, I fell in love with that woman.
Yeah.
The stuff that they keep going to.
Yeah.
Right. It was 10-15 minutes away from my old house where I used to live at. So, but now, Simi Valley to that golf and stuff is at least an hour 20-minute drive. So it's not like they just, let's go to golf and stuff, and they jump in the car and, we're here. No, that's a drive through traffic. And literally, so best way to put it is, you have downtown Philly, right? So imagine whichever way, go 40 miles out one way and then go 40 miles the other way. And that's the distance between those two,
That's on my list. That's on my bucket list. I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's nothing, it's not.
Doesn't matter. I just want to get a picture in front of it and be like, yep, the Karate Kid movie. Yep.
Yeah, it's changed so much since then. But like in the movie, the water slide that was there, that's now gone. It's now gone.
Oh, wow.
So, but it's still golf and stuff,
All right. You guys ready? We're good?
I'm ready.
All right. Take it easy, everyone. Keep geeking on, and we'll see you next time.
Yes.
All right.
All right. See ya.
Night.
Bye.
See ya.